You are listening to RealmWalker Radio, the journal of Arlea Brightgrove, broadcast 2. I just want to take a moment to make our listeners aware and to acknowledge that sanity is one of the major themes of this story. Historically, terms like madness and insanity have been used in conjunction with a very poor understanding of mental health, and often with outright cruelty, as an explanation or a justification for the inhumane treatment of large groups of people, from the mentally unwell to those who were poor or otherwise socially disadvantaged. Our expression of a sanity attribute is exclusively an expression of our character's ability to analyze, intercompare, and compartmentalize information regarding the world around us as we wrestle with the existential truths larger than mortal beings are meant to experience. Having said that, we're not perfect and wanted to give you lovely listeners a heads up. Enjoy. Welcome back to RealmWalker Radio. Thanks for tuning in again. We hope you enjoy today. When we left our heroes last, they had just gotten to the town of Hilden after an early morning cart ride that led to some interesting negotiations with a scarecrow. And by negotiations, I mean they fought in a field where I was very, very quick to hamper their vision, which is just a fun way to mess with my friends.
And then you almost killed me.
Yeah, I did almost kill you.
In the first episode, you wouldn't do that. Right?
I got to remember I'm on camera not to make a face. I don't have my poker face on, so my tells are revealed. You guys might know when I'm fucking up to something. Because I'm excited to roll a lot of this hidden shit. Anyway, now in town, you guys had just arrived when we left off. We had plenty of room for chit-chat, roleplay, character moments in episode 1, so we ate up a little bit of time, but it was really nice. So, you guys had just made it to town and gotten some mineral oil? Yes. I also feel I should mention, I think in the last episode I mentioned mineral spirits once or twice by accident. Don't ever clean a cutting board with mineral spirits. Don't ever do that. It's mineral oil. Do that.
Why can't you use mineral spirits? Hold on. It's a legitimate question. I didn't know.
Mineral spirits are a little bit rough on everything.
Nice to know.
Yeah.
Then you'll get the mineral spirits within your cutting board. And that's never a good thing.
Yeah, then it'll be haunted, DJ.
Oh no, something else in my house that's haunted.
Aside from every electronic that Devin touches. Anyway, I'm sorry, Devin, that was mean. I love you.
The truth hurts.
You guys are in Hilden. You are back by the caravan near the town center, not directly in the middle of it. It is right in between breakfast and lunchtime, still a very overcast day. And the town, it is as busy and hustling and bustling as a very small farming village could be. So there are people going out and about, coming in from and going back out to different parts of fields. There are small pens where just local animals are kept. They don't have like a thriving meat market here or anything like that, but they do have things like dairy cows and stuff like that. So you get to see all those much closer to the village where they're more readily defended should any kind of animals or anything come up. And you see, there are rows and rows and rows and rows and rows, what seems like just square miles of wheat field. There are also smaller fields where they're growing a bunch of vegetables, where they're growing things like oats and stuff like that, just for local use. It's not anything that they would trade. And just rounding out their locale with more than just wheat, which is kind of hard to get by on.
Okay.
But, yeah. You guys are out there by the caravan. People are starting to unload, and you guys were freshly given some information about what you might do about these accursed pages that beplague you so.
Yeah, and also the Druids. But right now, Zibnel is just curled up on top of his coffee.
Correct. You guys had been giving some information about Druids not having been seen or heard from in quite some time, though they used to frequent the village, and also hunters from a local hunting lodge just inside the forest. A few of them had gone missing, so there's quite a bit of superstition about that at the moment.
I think Zivnil will, like, sit up, wipe his face off, just... All right, so, Druids, right?
Yes, I believe so. I believe Druids is what we were looking for. Well, Druids and anybody that could point us towards the page. I believe there was also talk of a church that we could visit.
We mentioned being able to talk to Aranor, the Sin Eater, or maybe the fortune teller Miriam.
That's right, the Witcher, the Sin Eater.
Cool, the guy with the really cool title who is just kind of like a dude.
Yeah.
So which one are we going to first?
Well,
Did we actually get his mineral water?
Well, yes.
Mineral water.
I went and got my mineral water, so that I could stay hydrated because I definitely need that.
Just drink coffee.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't drink. Second of all, no.
Fair
It's
enough.
not for you. Also, could you imagine if I was just like a steam powered, fucking like not even steam powered, just like there's just like little water wheels in me.
Yeah.
Kind of sick.
Can you imagine if I was just a kettle?
Made of steam.
That's offensive
Like
to my people.
Mrs. Potts from Beauty and the Beast, or like what's happening? Is Mrs. Potts a Warforged? Are we confirming this in the canon now?
Yes, 100%. Yes.
Sweet.
I feel like Zib would just like use your insides like to
Yes.
brew his coffee like Bender.
Only
Grinder
with
and
permission.
percolator in one.
Only
Incredible.
with permission.
Well, yeah,
You will not be receiving permission.
Oh, boo.
you have to try harder to get into those guts, Zeb.
Let me open up my fun little name
I'm a
sheet.
child. To the Sin Eater.
How old are you?
Like 16.
Why?
Why not?
Why are you a baby?
Well,
Why do I have to protect you like a baby?
there's a thing about time. I was only around for 16 years of it.
Yeah, this is a long time ago. 16's like middle age, dude. Come on.
Rookie numbers, get them up, fam.
Like everything about Zib is rookie numbers.
Yeah.
Did we establish how old I am? Because I could be any number of years old. Considering that I'm from like a lost civilization, it seems.
Yeah, like
Well-
a century lost civilization at least. So you're old.
You old?
I'm
You're
older
so
than
old you might die soon.
you. Looking old, Granny. You gonna die today?
Damn.
I see the look on your face, DJ. How did you feel about that?
I didn't.
You
I didn't feel about that, actually.
I'm the only one not on camera, but also I would have to dick my camera up, and I'm shirtless, so no.
Fair enough.
Okay.
We
To the Sin Eater.
says the car. To the Sin Eater.
Or we could go see the witch. If she gets
Oh,
fortune,
yeah,
she'll
we
let
did
us
also
know
get
when
about a
we'll
witch.
die.
I don't. Well, I could tell you that.
Yeah, but you're not a witch.
No, I'm. Never mind. If that is the information you seek, I have it for you, but that's not. Anyway, let's go see the Sin Eater, then the witch, and then talk to the local people about the Druids.
Was that a threat?
No,
Okay, so you guys are going to meet with Sin Eater Ansur?
Yes.
Okay.
How do you spell that?
So I'm just-
ANSUR.
Next campaign we're playing, I'm being a Sin Eater something.
Cool.
So, like, my title has to be Sin Eater. Whatever we're playing in, I need to be a Sin Eater because it's just so sick.
It's gonna
Fair enough.
It's gonna make Kid on Bikes real weird.
It's gonna be real weird. It's gonna be real wild.
I can make it
Just
work.
the intro is like, skids in on my bike. Hey, everybody, I'm Tucker. And then he just like descends out of the clouds. And I'm the Sin Eater.
Oh, can I please play like a really cringe little goth kid that calls himself Sin Eater?
You think I won't let you play a really cringe little goth kid that calls himself Sin Eater?
I think you will, and I think I'm going to.
Okay.
Self-inserts are a staple of role-playing games.
Do we
Hey,
know where the Sin Eater is?
It wouldn't be hard to just ask around. There is a small chapel just down one of the main lanes of the village. Like it's very obviously a chapel. Like it has some of the iconographic staples of just religion in general around it. Having said that, this is a polytheistic chapel, as it were. So you may see different markings from a lot of the gods that you might expect a farming village to involve themselves with. So like goddesses of nature, sun and moon, stuff like that.
Okay. I will actually, before we go do that, I'm probably going to go make an offering.
Yeah.
To whom are you making your offering?
To Dokar.
Gotcha.
Just a little silent prayer.
All right. You'll feel effectively warm inside as you do so, and then you guys may proceed.
All right, where's the sun guy? Wait, the sin guy.
He will just be inside the chapel, probably seeing to just like daily duties, helping out with whatever parishioners need, and then keeping the church cleaned, maintained, and doing certain, like, not daily, but just, necessary rites as they arise.
Don't let me talk. I'm not the face.
Oh, wait, that's me.
Mm-hmm.
Hello? Yes? Sin Eater?
Oh, come in. He'll look, and he's just in there. He's just doing his regular shopkeeper sweep that you see in so many D&D campaigns. But yeah, he's just general upkeep right now. He'll welcome you guys in. He'll set the broom to the side on the wall. Inside, you'll see it's not extravagant, but the everything is well kept. All of the colors are nice. None of the fabrics or anything is faded, and all of the specific, not idols, but like individual shrines placed throughout the back of the place are immaculately well kept, polished, and well lit as well.
Oh, it's nice in here.
Yeah, he'll beckon you guys inside and just have a quizzical look on his face. He's a middle-aged, maybe slightly past guy. He's, balding a little on top. He's got his robes on and everything. And you can see he had set to the side. He's got like this old crozier, which is like one of those bishop staves. And, his mitre is set down on a table and everything. He's just in here cleaning right now. You see one other person offering a prayer at the Shrine of the Twin Goddesses, which is, as you're walking in the main door, it is immediately back, just in a straight line at the back of the chapel. There's one other parishioner in there offering a prayer, and that's all you see at the moment.
Zippanil can't sit still, so like as soon as he's in, he's just strolling around, curiously looking at everything.
Gotcha.
But yes, hello. You're the Sin Eater here, yes?
I am. How can I be of service?
We wish to inquire about, a couple things. Chief among them being, how do I put this? Do you know anything about cursed journal pages?
Cursed journal pages? I mean, I imagine nearly any litany could come by a curse. What specific journal?
Ask him if the name Amelia Brightgrove sounds familiar.
Does the name Amelia Brightgrove sound familiar to you?
Arlea Brightgrove.
See, DJ.
Amelia.
Does the name Arlea Brightgrove
character for him to not know that name off the top of his head?
That's
so out of character for me to not know. Oops. But Arlea Brightgrove, does that name ring a bell to you?
Only by way of rumors. I've never seen researched documentation about it. I've never experienced any of the pages or anything myself.
Okay, the next question is, there's talk of disappearing druids. Do you know anything about this?
The Druid Coven is far, far back in the forest. They mostly keep to their own, and we kept to our own. We're, as far as I understand, on friendly terms with them. We just haven't seen them in seasons now. And if I may, asking about pages from that specific of a journal is really like on the nose question that you're asking. Do you have some of these pages?
We are in possession of some, yes.
Okay, so that clears up the water just a little bit, and he welcomes you over to where there are some chairs, and he sits down. He was like, okay, it's not. Who knows? Maybe it's not even a big deal. We'll just take a look. But I can't really help you if we're keeping up this like smoke screen of, vagity and anonymity, right?
Is that what we were doing?
We were coming at this on eggshells. If you have some kind of cursed literature, you could just say like, hey, this thing is haunting me. It's okay.
Hey, these pages are haunting us.
There we go. That's the kind of directness that I appreciate. Thank you.
I did come in here and immediately say cursed pages and Arlea Brightgrove. I don't know how I could have been more clear.
Walk in and be like, hey, I hear you're the scene eater and I got a buffet for you.
Oh my god.
But if I seemed like I wasn't being candid, I apologize.
No, not at all. It's just far easier for me to help if I know the exact details of what's going on rather than just discussing rumors. But
oh, then yes, we all have come by these cursed pages in one way or another. They have been haunting us for quite a while, me longer than most. And on our way here, we fought a scarecrow full of man meat.
that is truly a troubling thing to have experienced. I'm very sorry about that. Like, he'll just look a little shocked at first, but also like poised to provide any kind of comfort that you would indicate that you need.
I'm quite fine, but Zeminel took the worst of it.
And if I stop moving, I'll think about it. So I'm going to sweep and clean up a little bit.
He is but a boy.
Oh, well, that's appreciated.
Just tie the broom to your butt and just have you running around.
Zeminel just needs to be like in his body for a little bit and not think about anything. So he's just running around sweeping.
He does still have a couple like actual open wounds on him.
Gross.
Oh, then he would address that right away. I thought you would have bandaged up.
That would have meant stopping to think about it. And he's just like, all right, cool, we're going to go do this thing to fix this thing.
He'll wave you over just with like a very reassuring, almost like a grandfather's smile. Like, just like, you know it's going to be all right. He's trying to beckon you over.
Yeah, how can I help you?
He's going to eat your
He's
sin.
just going to like put a hand on your shoulder and look at you. And then he'll gesture with his other hand, and he's going to cast Cure Wounds on you.
Thank you, because I was at 9 hit points.
Yeah.
What's being at 9 HP?
Oh, wow. There we go. DJ, enjoy another 12 hit points on the house.
On the house?
Yeah, he'll say, that's a little thank you for helping me clean up around here, and just give you a nod. And then he'll turn back and then address you more properly now. He said, okay, so I'm not sure. From what I understand of the rumors is that the pages are bound to you completely until they are returned to the journal.
Yes, or we die, I believe.
That explains things.
Explains what? Did you try to get rid of yours?
No, it explains how I got mine, I think.
Interesting.
I was about to say, this is a lore moment if I've ever heard one.
Would you like to elaborate, or is that a story for another time? Would that be too much thinking about it?
There was somebody who did something bad, and I made him stop doing something bad, and now I have the page.
I see.
I think that's the simplest way to put it.
So you killed a man.
Yes.
I've dealt with nothing like this before, but curses as a general concept before, and I understand that there is a certain ostracism that can come with being cursed or in possession of a cursed item, but I assure you that this is a very safe place for you to be open about this. Probably not with the farmers. It might be easy. They may scare easier.
I'm going to look at... You said there was one other person in the room. I'm going to look at them. What are they up to? Are they listening, or are they just kind of shuffled off?
They're diligently finishing some prayers, but I don't think that they would... This is not... You're not, like, right next to them, and if you need to discuss anything in a hushed tone, they'd have to make, like, a very decent perception in order to hear anything.
So I just imagined all of us kind of just, like, sitting... Like, the three of us, kind of... The two of us, Bernie, sitting on the pew, and, like, the Sin Eater, like, pulled up a chair and is sitting in front of us, talking to us, while Zib's just, like, going around doing his thing. And then when he says, maybe not the farmers, I just hear... As your head turns towards the other person in the room. the Sin Eater's like, oh, no.
He doesn't have a name. It's cool.
Unnamed background character number 1 becomes the new villain.
They told me I was worth nothing. I didn't even deserve a name. I'll show them.
When was the last time you cleaned up here in these
Fine, I'll
rafters?
give this guy a name. Jesus shit.
He goes and just like eats several
If I
of the
name
pages.
this person, you're gonna meet him again. This is a warning.
Okay, don't do it. Leave them
Don't do it.
nameless.
Don't do it. What do we say? Don't do it. Devin, you're bringing about our own destruction. Don't do this.
All right, his name is Kenneth. You're
God
all
dang it.
fucked now. Kenneth. Shit.
Not Kenneth. Not fantasy Kenneth.
Yeah, but I spelled it weird because it's a fantasy. All right.
Oh.
It's spelled with an I instead of a second E.
It's
Or
spelled with
Y.
vowels you can't even comprehend. Not until your sanity score goes down. All right. But yeah,
Ooh, wait, why do you guys
he'll seem confident. And he said, if it would make you feel better, we can step into my offices.
Oh, I have no problem talking about it. I'm not one for secrecy. If anybody else has any feelings about it, we can reconvene in your office. But I'm fully okay with discussing pretty much anything. I have no secrets.
Fantastic. Would it be untoward for me to ask to see one of these pages? And he'll just look around at everyone present.
I'll pull one out of my pack.
Gotcha.
Pull one out? How many do you have?
I'll pull one out of my pack.
Interesting.
Now I just got the one. Calm down.
Okay.
I have no secrets.
Yeah, I'm not one for secrecy. I'll pull one out of my pack. Yeah, as he goes to look at it, he'll tentatively reach for it. And
No,
if you offer for him to take a look at it in that way, what'd you say?
I was just going to say to him, I believe the way they work is that the curse is mine alone. So if you touch it, it might not do anything to you, but I'm not entirely sure. I've never let somebody else hold the page before. So
No, you'll see him definitely stop. He is going to reach, and as he goes to try and take it, his hand just goes through it. And if you were to hand it to him, it would just appear back on your person. Thus is the shape of how this thing is bound to you. He'll look a little consternated for a moment, and he said, would you mind, and just like gestures you holding it in such a way that he could read it.
yes, I will do that.
I think after the scarecrow incident, Zib would probably shuffle over. God, I go through puberty apparently. Shuffle over. and,
I am
like,
Zib.
and put his eyes on it.
Please don't stick your eyeballs on my page.
No, he's just gonna lean in real close, like face to it.
Then do we want me to read it out loud, Tyler? Is that what we want to do?
Go for it.
I know I am guided now and that my course is true. The past few days have shown me that there can be no other course. Each step I have taken, I was meant to take, and the footprints behind me are not on my account. Now I can live my every moment with perfect purpose and free from expectation. Because that doesn't sound creepy at all. None of that's creepy.
What he does now is he'll just like lean back and consider what he's read and consider just what he knows, again, mostly through rumor about these things. He'll say, there are a couple of things that we could try, but from everything I know about them, it has not appeared to work in the past. So how may I best be of help to you?
We are just looking for anyone who would know anything about the pages and anybody that is in possession of more of them. We're not necessarily looking for you to break our curse. We know that the means of breaking the curse is to return the pages to their rightful home, so we wish to find its rightful home.
From my understanding, the pages regularly and often rigorously test the faculties of the people to whom they're bound, often resulting in irreversible madness to those who are in possession of them for far too long or do not possess the fortitude to really tangle with whatever the page reveals to them.
Can I ask you, how many times have you encountered such a page?
This would be my first. I've only known one other person who has encountered one of these pages, and everything that I know of these, except for what we've experienced just in this moment, is completely hearsay. So when I say that this is not a well-studied phenomenon, I mean that genuinely.
Who was the other person that had a page?
A fellow clergyman of mine, a cleric who works in one of the larger cities known as Lithlum. From time to time, as we go on just sabbatical travels and stuff like that, it is a usual wisdom that we encounter other clerics and, just trade some knowledges and broaden ourselves as people.
Can I
Said
have his name?
lived. He said he lived with them. Does that mean that he is no longer with us?
I haven't spoken to him in more than a few years, so I suppose that something could have happened, but he was in good health when last we spoke.
Well, that's good. What about his mental faculties, having been in contact with the page?
He seemed to be a water-worthy ship the last time we went sailing, so...
That's good, that's good.
Holes in the bucket. Good.
No holes in the bucket.
No holes in the bucket. Gotcha. Let me write down Lithlum and what was the name? Gentleman.
Estrin, Estrin.
Estrin.
Mm-hmm.
Out of curiosity, might you have any
Lithium.
preventative measures to...
Might you have any lithium?
Might you have any lithium?
You'll see him run to the door with the brim up like, Elon Musk, you get out of here.
Might you have any preventative measures to be able to help safeguard our sanity?
That is a tricky one. Your own psyche is, again, your own, not to sound too plain about that. There are certain arcane magics that can help defend your mind from intrusion, and there are certain divine practices that could help to do the same.
Divine, you say?
Have
any of you heard of our Lord and Savior Indri?
I have, and am familiar with some of her rites, yes.
I'm just saying, if you two wanted to convert, it might help.
I am happy following Dokara.
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure the god of death might have a few words for me if I were to renege on our deal.
Are we all scions of some god? Is that a thing
Yes.
that's happening?
Yes, I don't think that was by design for the entire group to be.
Zibnel's not a scion of a god.
So as you guys look around, it's plain again that this is a polytheistic practice in the chapel. It's not anything like we'd experience in our world. Like there's clear evidence of the effect and presence of all of these gods, even if it's not like a physical presence.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the primary goddesses that you see represented here in the chapel are the twin goddesses of the sun and the moon, which is Derene and Istra. You see the goddess of nature, which is Asase.
Sounds hot.
Yes, and then there is also some iconography from the god of changes, who is Othwin, Authwyn. And those are like the big main three, but there are also, you see just on different tables and shelving and stuff like that, books of some of the rites of many other gods. And there are also small talismans and charms around that you may or may not recognize, but I will offer you the opportunity to give me a religion check.
Religion check incoming. You'd think I'd be better at this, but I'm not. That's a 12 from me, dog.
That's a 19 from Zib.
I got a 5.
So Devin is a dirty sinner, and
Eat
to
me.
be fair, didn't he just kind of like meet death at a poker game and didn't really like pledge himself to him that hard? He's just like, yeah, I'm gonna do this thing for a friend, but not really religious.
it is fair.
It was less at a poker game and more at, my dying child's bedside. But yeah.
Yeah, poker game.
That's a poker game, probably. I don't know. What Zib is going to see in some of these charms and a few of the talismans, which are invariably placed in specific places, either by windows, doors, or close to the altars themselves, are essentially warding implements to ward off gods that you have only heard of in name with a 19, which are Gur, G-U-R, the Scourge god,
Mm-hmm.
Lindisir, the god of lies, and Hanbit Lang, the god of oppression.
All three of them sound like they suck.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm on the opposite end. They all sound cool as fuck to me. Those names all slap.
The most prominent talisman is to ward against the god of lies, and it is placed against where the actual altars are, where the praying is done. And that's about as good as you can get on a 19, especially at your age. You know, people would have wanted to limit the overall exposure that people have to the different expressions of these gods and how they are worshipped and stuff like that. So it's not anything you would have learned very readily just growing up in Lithlum, specifically there where worship of any of these gods is instantly punishable by imprisonment or death.
Yeah.
So you would absolutely know that on a 19. Like if you were out here just worshiping the Scourge god in a city-state, they'd get you pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
But,
You're going to look at what?
that is all of the iconography that you recognize on a 19.
Okay.
Are there any? Sorry.
He'll take note of that and probably. I mean, he's been shuffling the whole time, like just going from place to place.
Every second shuffling.
I think before he leaves this chapel, he will have like done a small silent prayer offering at each altar.
You get a good vibe from doing that. You don't feel any sense of betrayal towards the goddess of love. It feels like that is a thing she would definitely approve of.
Just spreading the compassion, spreading the love, you know.
So there's no like shrine to injury here.
Yeah, you would see charms books. There would be a couple of scrolls that on the wooden spindle have her seal engraved at the ends and stuff like that. And it would just be specific rites or litanies of the goddess of fate. It's not anywhere that she's widely worshipped here. And I think you would know just in traveling for all the time that you have that there is not an immense following for the goddess of fate. It is more of an eclectic sort of esoteric practice because a lot of the understanding is fate is just going to be whatever it is that your fate is. Like trying to go against or rewrite your destiny is almost seen as kind of like a fool's errand.
Fate gonna do what it do.
Okay, it is what it is. Sometimes it really pays off for people who do it. Sometimes
Is that the mantra of the goddess of fate?
Yeah, fate gonna do what it do. That's what we say.
Yeah. What eloquent prose. You see a tear fall down the Sin Eater's cheek and just well done.
Just imagine a bunch of monks in robes. Fate gonna do what it do. Just it's so funny. But anyway, I'll do a little prayer to injury, and then I'll reach in my bag and see if I can find some sort of little injury charm to add to the collection of charms in the church.
Absolutely, yeah.
What is the iconography of injury anyway, or is that something you even had thought of?
The iconography of injury would be one scroll just rolling into another scroll. The visual effect there being that every fate is known, every fate is written, and that is normally how she is depicted, is just not necessarily like willowy in form, but like wearing very flowing clothing in any art that you may have seen, probably from quite a long time back, and just carrying an armful of scrolls and stuff like that. So the idea is that the individual sum of a person's life is all contained in the one scroll, and that's all sort of written long before they're born. Bernie, if you want to roll me another religion check.
12 again.
12 again. That would be enough to know that in the lesser pantheon, these are not gods but deific beings. These are not demigods per se, like it's not like they are part god, it's just they have risen above being mortal, that a person who is only known as Lady Luck is part of the pantheon of the goddess of fate.
Okay.
And this is a person that you see like gamblers whispering to change small facets of their fate and things like that, so.
And so it leaves like it's just like part of the fold of injury.
Mm-hmm.
It's just okay.
Basically, if somebody exemplifies the tenets, the ideologies, and the will of a god themselves in a way that not only magnifies the god to whom they worship, but they do so in a way that the god might have done themselves if they could come to the mortal realm, they are elevated out of mortality into this deific status.
Okay.
Those are legendary figures. There's not like just books about them. It's not a thing you can really research. It's just a thing that happens and that people say, oh, well, I met so-and-so. And it's like, that's bullshit. No, you didn't.
So when you described the scroll leading into another scroll, and when you were talking about their mantra or their phrases, the one that came to mind was every fate is known, every future written, and each story leads into another.
Yes.
And that's cool.
That's very cool.
Put it on a t-shirt.
No. Put it on some underwear.
I mean, I'd wear them.
Me too. For sure, for sure.
And Ansur. His name is Ansur, not Ansur.
Correct.
Ansur.
If you called him Ansur, he'd smile. A lot of the kids in town probably do.
About these druids, because from what we heard, it was probably connected to a page. Am I remembering wrong?
That is not inconsistent with a sudden shattering of someone's psyche. Like if something happened at the Druid Grove and something changed very, very suddenly, I mean, that could cause them to withdraw and stop traveling to and from the village as they did. I haven't been up there myself. I haven't gone to the Druid Grove in years and years and years. So,
how would we get there?
Oh, it is perhaps 2 days travel up into the forest. It's quite far up to where the foothills of the mountains are a good bit higher. You could probably find someone at the hunting lodge, at least willing to travel with you, or perhaps just draw you a map.
Okay, so from here, we have a new plan. We go from here, we find the witch, we get mineral oil.
I've already done
You
that.
got that last time.
Okay, I wasn't sure about that. We don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, your new pickle peddling friend pointed you in the right direction.
All right, so got the mineral oil. We need to go. What would we going to talk to the witch for? Like the same information, see if she knew anything about the journal.
I mean, if two people were to know about curses, it would be clergyman and a witch. Yes.
Okay, so find the witch, who might not be a witch, but might be a witch. And then to the hunting lodge to find a way to get to the druids.
Who might also know something about this.
Exactly.
And then after that, we go to Lithlum and try to talk to Estrin.
Yes.
If we don't get sidetracked by something here.
I think this will be a little quick. Maybe 4-day thing. 2 days there, 2 days back.
We'll see.
Seems simple enough.
Tyler's got the poker face on right now.
There it is.
There's
a crack.
Smile. There's a little smile.
You just gonna call me out like that on the recording, eh? All right.
Joseph Billy White's baby. Go ahead.
All right.
The listeners can't see that shit-eating grin, so we can tell if it happens.
That seems to be like your best way to get a lead. You guys can go talk to the fortune teller / witch you don't know yet, if you would like to.
Witch of Hilden.
Say that again.
Don't worry about it. It was a bad joke. Move on. Carry on.
We gotta know.
No.
Did Killain put down a trinket to Lady Luck?
Not to injury.
To injury? My bad.
Goddess of Fate.
The Goddess of Fate. Where can we find her, the witch?
Oh, I thought you meant the Goddess of Fate. I was like, well, you could start by leaving the material playing out.
I ascend.
I was about to say, this is going to be a tough roll for you, buddy.
I just jumped there. Above board, my brain has Swiss cheese in it, so I cannot remember if last game we got the name of the witch.
Miriam.
Okay.
Miriam.
Miriam?
Yes.
So where can we find Miriam?
Miriam is closer to the north edge of town, and he'll start to like sort of gesture with his hands, like, you know, just lefts and rights and stuff like that. But he'll tell you, like, as you leave the chapel, if you go to the main north and south road of the town and head strictly north, it is pretty much the last building before you leave town.
Awesome. And just because I'm getting information from you now, also the hunting lodge, is it something big that we can't miss, or? There
is a clear pathway that leads to it. It's a little bit into the forest, but they normally have a fire burning, so it's easy to see the smoke. And they, are welcoming to visitors so far as I understand, so I don't think they would make themselves hidden for any reason.
Okay. Look for the building with smoke for the hunting lodge.
Mm-hmm.
Last building,
and there is
to
just
the
a
north.
direct dirt path that leads you up there. It's maybe a half an hour walk, just like 10-15 minutes to get to the edge of the forest, and then it's just beyond the tree line from there.
Okay, awesome. In that case, maybe we should do the hunting lodge first, since that's in town. And that way, if it just so happens to the path to the Druids is to the north, we can talk to Miriam on our way out.
Sure.
Instead of walking 30 minutes there, walking back in town, going to the hunting lodge, and then the situations that would entail.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't use that word right. Oh well. To the hunting lodge. And he was just stiff-legged out.
Okay.
I'm really realizing right now that DJ just has actual rabbit energy. It's translating well to Zib.
DJ's falling into a deep-seated characteristic of himself and just playing it.
Look, I'm just saying, it's better to just do it in this order now.
Yeah. So just for my clarity, you were going to speak to Miriam upon leaving town, then continue your walk up to the hunting lodge, and then come back if you need to, or pursue the Druids after that?
I was under the impression that the hunting lodge was in town.
No, so Miriam's place is in town, right at the edge of town, and then as you walk out of town up into the forest, you get to the hunting lodge.
Okay.
Maybe I described that poorly.
Miriam first, then hunting lodge, and then Druids.
Zip is just going to, like, mid-step, do a half spin on one foot. Okay, so Miriam first, and then the hunting lodge.
Yes.
Off we go.
Off we go.
As we leave, I feel like Kieran would probably just pause briefly at any altar or affectations for the god of death, Rayshawn?
No, not normally. Unless someone was trying to specifically worship death in a cult-like fashion, or is doing so in exchange for some power. Death is not a thing that is normally worshipped, because it's funny. Life and death are two gods that don't really see just widespread worship, because it is a thing that will happen.
Mm-hmm.
So like rain is never certain, death is going to happen, right? So death does not see a widespread iconography, because you're all in his pocket sooner or later. So there are specific prayers to death, and, like to kind of help stave off things like the pain of the sick and things like that. So it's either a, Rayshawn, please tomorrow, or Rayshawn, let's go ahead and get this over with right now sort of prayers. But there isn't like a widespread iconography outside of some like cult-like stuff. And people like that are normally who Rayshawn would send you to clean up.
Right.
That is
I thought it was
typically a thing he approves of. He's egotistical, but he doesn't like his name being besmirched, if you get my meaning. So
I thought maybe like since this did seem to be kind of clergy adjacent or church, as you think, I think you described it. I thought maybe like if there was some kind of funeral rites or anything tied to that it might be attributed to him.
Funerary rites are often the first things that like low-level clerics would learn. So as someone dies, almost anyone can perform a funerary rite to just kind of commend that their soul go to death and nowhere else. You normally see stuff like that in and around graveyards. You might see certain parts of prayers on arches, overhangs, on tombstones or mausoleums or something like that. But there is no like symbology. There's no real icons or anything to death. In some times and in some parts of the world, that's almost seen as like a bad omen, as almost like inviting death. And like you have had the unique experience of at least hearing the voice of and dealing with Rayshawn personally. And that's, you get the sense like he's a charismatic guy. He's not unkind, but there is no hashing of the material here. Like, you're all going to die. It's not in question. The only thing that you can really do in the name of death is die. So,
Fair enough.
in your experience, Rayshawn is not normally unkind about that. He has more of like a shepherding attitude about that. But it's not like, oh, I can go and defeat this dragon in the name of death. No. Pretty much the only thing you can do for death is die.
Okay. Then yeah.
That are just like, I'm going to kill for death. He's not into those, huh?
Well, it's funny. Like, there is a god of carnage and torture. That's who you would kill for. When it's time for someone to die, there's pretty much no stopping it. So if you're out there just killing wantonly just for the sake of murder, that's normally a bad thing. Like, if you're killing in self-defense, somebody just accelerated their own time to die, right?
You brought this on yourself.
Well, I mean, if somebody's just at you on the street, they're like, hey, give me what's yours. And you're like, no, I don't think so. And it comes to blows. And if something bad happens of that, it's not like you're out. It's not like you had the premeditated intention to murder them. But if you do like skulk around, like, I just love killing, I just got to do it, the power from that action or that specific worship would go to a god known as Wrist, who is the god of carnage and torture.
What about like assassinations?
Assassinations? It's sort of premeditated murder, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just because you got a contract to do it. Like, just because somebody filled your pocket to do it. I mean, I'm not harshing anybody's day job if that's what you do for a living. but the god that benefits the most from that is typically seen as an evil god.
Mm.
So if you're looking at assassination from a religious point of view, Rayshawn doesn't really care.
Yeah, I figured either way, yeah. I'd probably, as I get up, I'd give him a nod and a thank you, and then like toss a coin in the collection bin.
Ansur will give you a nod, and he'll say, "Oh, just for what it's worth, I have something that may help you out." He'll go into the back. There's just a little side door. He'll go into his offices. There, he has just sort of like a collection of books and everything, and he's not conspiratorial about this. Like, the door is wide open. You just see him like just kind of browsing through a little scroll rack really quick, and he can't seem to find it. He's frustrated for a moment. It pops open a drawer. Aha. And he'll come back to one of you guys with a scroll. He'll say, "I don't know who among you would be best equipped to use this, but it may be helpful in times of duress." And he will give you a scroll of bless.
Oh.
And he'll just offer it to any of you three that would take it.
If nobody stops Zib, he's gonna reach for it.
I am already
use it, Zib.
Wait, use it? He's just giving it to us.
No, he's asking if you are capable of using it. When the time comes, would you be able to use the scroll, is what he's asking.
I can't read this.
I will take it then.
Wait, can you actually... Wait. Killian, can you read this?
Yes, of course.
What does it say?
Casts bless. It dissolves into dust.
No, it is the incantation one needs to cast bless.
Okay.
If I were to read it right now, it would, happen, and then it would turn to dust, and it would be sort of useless as we're not in a situation where we currently need it.
Okay,
but,
so it's like a one-shot thing, huh?
Yes, it will crumble into dust if I were to use it.
Good to know.
I am already capable of casting such a spell, so this is another use of it for us, which is great. Because my spellcasting ability is quite limited.
Gotcha.
I see. So, to Miriam's.
To Miriam's. And as you follow his instructions, it's very easy to find your way to the place. And there's just like a very ramshackle sort of beat up sign outside that just says fortune teller on it. You see that there is, some action inside. Some people have just walked out and they're just kind of holding hands and walking back into town. And you should be free to walk in if you choose to.
I mean,
I don't like the way that was
very
phrased.
Curious about this. So yeah, he's gonna scooch in.
Okay. There's a little bell on the door that rings as you open it up, and she'll pop her head back out. Oh, hello.
Hi.
Yes, come in. How can I help you?
Yes, you're the fortune teller.
I am. Everyone normally just calls me Miriam.
Sorry, we're new in town. We have a, I suppose, private matter to discuss with you. Could we come in?
Certainly. If you would please just take a seat at the round table. I've got something about to boil over in here, and I'll be right with you.
Okay.
I'm going to hit the air with that little sniff. Is it tea or coffee?
It is not tea.
What is it? I'm a perception that.
I don't know if you're going to perception that. You're probably going to need to either nature, or if you have proficiency with alchemist tools, I'll let you use that.
I will nature.
Nature it for me.
Because he heard a thing bubbling over and he's like, food? Oh, that's a 9. That's below a 10.
Doesn't smell like food, and if it was food, it would be like an acrid kind of food. Does not smell like an appetizing, I want to eat this kind of food, unless you're just like really, really into bitter.
Did you really like the taste of Eye of Danger?
I mean, you are just chewing on coffee beans pretty regularly, so you might just be into bitter, but...
I am immediately less interested in that smell.
It will only take her a moment or two to come in and sit back down with you, and she said, "It's hard to keep an old stove on a simmer, but how can I be of service? You're just looking for a simple fortune reading, or do you have some more specific questions?"
No, I've got that part covered. What we need is to pick your brain on your knowledge of curses. If you have any.
You're not cursed, are you?
Yes, quite, actually.
Yeah.
Quite cursed? I haven't met anyone quite cursed in some time. Well, let's get started then. What seem to be the symptoms of your curse?
Do you know of the pages of the Journal of Arlea Brightgrove?
Doesn't ring a bell to me, but I'm sure we could figure it out.
Well, I suppose the quickest demonstration would be for me to pull this page out of my bag and for you to attempt to reach for it.
Okay.
I'm going to pull the page out.
She'll just reach for the page, and you'll see the same thing. Like, her hand almost seems to ethereally just go through the page. It's not disturbed at all. And she'll say, "Well, that's just interesting." And she just kind of continues waving her hand through, and she's like, "Are you sure this is a curse? Is it not just a magic item? Maybe to play some kind of trick on someone?"
The pages are bound to us. The only way for it to be removed from my person is to reunite it with the journal it came from, or to perish, as it were. And also, if the rumors are to be believed, eventually these pages might drive us mad.
Mad?
Yes, mad.
Well, that simply won't do.
No, it does not seem like a very favorable outcome.
That's crazy ones.
So the pages are bound physically to you, so you can't rid yourself of them, and they...
I'll throw the page across the room and let it come back to me.
Oh, yeah, it'll just dissolve as it hits the wall, and you'll find it back in your pocket or wherever it is that you store it.
And then I'll reach in and grab it. See, we can't get rid of them.
Well, that's a marvelous little trick.
It's not great.
Yeah, the whispers...
Drives you mad in what way?
I'm not entirely sure in what way.
Hearing voices that are not there, seeing writing that is not there.
If the voices are for me.
Things of that nature. I felt a presence watching me.
So more hallucinations in the psyche, and
I was at one point convinced that the corpse I smelled was an olfactory hallucination, but it turned out that there was just a corpse inside a scarecrow that was aiming to kill us. So
a corpse inside a scarecrow? Well, that's terrifying.
It was okay.
I thought for sure.
I was already quite mistrustful of scarecrows just in general, but now...
I'm going to shoot everyone I see from now on.
Everyone?
I'm going to shoot every scarecrow that I see from now on.
Better.
I thought you meant like everyone, like that was one word. I was like, well, that's no way to go through D&D.
that's a terrible way to go through life.
But no, every scarecrow I see, I'm going to shoot, just to make sure it doesn't throw an axe at me again.
As if scarecrows weren't creepy enough, yes, now we have to deal with them having human corpses. So, well, humanoid, humanish. corpses, human, but like a little long, as it were. Also missing a head. It wasn't great.
So it attacked you without having its head on.
Yes, but it did. Weirdly,
That's some impressive necromancy.
Weirdly, it left the head home, but brought an axe with it.
It's just like she's in an uncomfortable way. Like she appears like genuinely impressed and delighted at that necromancy. She's like, "Oh, that's very impressive." Yeah.
You get enough on this lady?
No, I do appreciate the craft, as it were. Craftsmanship is craftsmanship. Whether you're building a house or animating the dead, there's certain tools and resources, and may I say some creativity that goes into it as well.
Yes,
Sort of morally agnostic to necromancy. I mean, many of the healing spells that one would avail themselves of in any church across the land are of a necromantic arcane persuasion.
Yeah, those don't throw axes at me, though.
Well, I mean, they could, though. Maybe.
I don't want to try and envision a curing spell throwing an axe at me.
Could you imagine if somebody's healing word and then you had to make a dex check?
Or just like, or somebody's like the way they cast Cure Wounds is just like chopping you with a light axe. Just heal.
Or shooting you with a gun.
She'll lean in, and she is of advanced years.
Now I feel personally attacked by that.
But she is of a quite advanced age. You see her hair is just long and tied back in several places down a long ponytail, and she's a bit just hunched with age, but she'll lean in and with very, very keen and aware eyes, she'll say, "So how specifically can I help you with these curses?"
We were just looking to pick your brain on
Oh, fantastic. Okay.
Your knowledge of curses, as well as maybe a way to find these these other pages and people that might have them. Like if you were to know any way to sort of use the magical link these pages have with the other to track them or something.
Well, these pages are nothing that I've ever heard of, and I've never even considered anything like them before, but that doesn't mean that I can't know about them. So let's see if we could figure this thing out. And she'll start to kind of just rummage through a loose collection of very just stereotypical fortune-tellery stuff, right? So she's got a couple of tarot decks sitting around. She's got a crystal ball in 3 different sizes, so she's sort of equipped for this sort of thing, and she'll just start flipping through a couple of pages of a book of her own.
Can I do some sort of insight check or something to see if I feel like she's an actual fortune teller or if she's a hack? Having the goddess of fate as my patron, I kind of want to know, she real? She really doing this thing out here?
So are you trying to look to see if just any of the stuff that she's using is just got to she just picked up at a mall somewhere, or are you trying to see from her personality and how she's acting?
Is there anything that I could glean from? I guess the first would be to look at her.
It would be an easier perception or a rather difficult insight check. So however you would want to do that.
I'm good at both. The numbers equal on both. But if the perception is easier, then we shall perceive with a 15.
Ooh.
A 15? So for the perception, you're going to kind of be looking at some of the things that she's accumulating here at the table to try and get some information about these things, sort of like an out-of-body or an extra perception thing that she's preparing. Because like she said, I have no idea what any of this is, but that doesn't mean that I don't know about it. So she's definitely going to try and reach outside of her own senses for information about this kind of stuff. And that seems to be the vibe that you're getting. And all of the stuff that she's collecting looks very either eccentric or at least very high dollar. These are not cheap crystal balls, even if they are fake. If you wanted to see if any of the stuff is actually capable of doing the things you assume that she's about to try, then are you proficient in Arcana at all?
No.
I will let you roll it.
Yeah. 19.
In fact, she's collecting the stuff at the table. So anyone who is proficient, You're more than welcome to roll, but I'm just going to let Bernie roll regardless.
I got me a 19.
Zip trusts her. He thinks that she's just on the level.
What does a 19 get me, Tyler?
A 19. One of these tarot decks that she's got out does not appear magical, and it sort of just kind of like operates on, you know, the faith understanding of tarot, like the way that things are or can be are already kind of interwoven in a way that you would understand from your experiences under injury. And this tarot deck is just kind of a way for us to catch a glimpse of a dimension of that fate. The other tarot deck that she sets down appears to you to be profoundly magical, almost overwhelmingly so.
Okay.
Hey, so while this is happening... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. I was going to say I will make quiet note of that in my own brain. Carry on. If my face was capable of emoting, I would smile.
Okay.
While she's pulling the stuff out, much like in the church, Zib's going to start just wandering about the space and just looking at random things.
In this particular room, it's going to be a lot of stuff associated with the telling of fortunes and things like that. There is a talisman or two of Endry floating around. There is a talisman of the goddess of the moon, who is Istra, and there are one or two others that I don't know if you would recognize. That would be like another religion check.
You said there's a talisman of injury?
Injury, yes.
About how big is it?
Just $50 size, just on a small silver cord.
Please don't rob the witch.
He's not going to steal it to put it in his pocket, but he is going to pick it up and start rolling it like a coin between his knuckles.
Okay. You reaching out for any of the others?
No, just the one of injury.
Outside in the shop proper, just beyond this room, you'll see where there are just a number of different bottled and vialed potions and liquids and stuff that you don't readily recognize, but there are a ton of them, and you sort of get the vibe that that's what's simmering in the back as well.
Not food. Gotcha.
Not food.
So while she's digging through stuff, I'm going to say, hey, are you a witch?
A witch? How does one really define a witch anyway?
You know,
honestly,
honestly,
if I have like witchy qualities, then yes. But like, what do you mean when you say witch? She seems a little bit defensive, almost like she lives here because, you know, some of her practices are not entirely welcome elsewhere.
Honestly, I have no idea what people consider a witch. I've just heard the word before, and I heard that it was possible that you could be one, and I wanted to know if you were and what one was.
Well, often when people think about a witch, what they're thinking about is an incredibly long-lived and very selfish being known as a hag. If by that you mean, if by your question you mean, am I a hag, then no.
No, I would never call you a hag.
Do I practice making potions and communicating with spirits and familiars of other types? Then yes, that you know, that's some witch stuff. I won't. Look, I'll keep it a stack with you. I do some witch things from time to time.
Ooh, okay. Killain is back. Bernie is gone now.
Okay.
Yes. I have no problem with witches. I have no opinions on witches. I know nothing of witches, so I was asking. I've heard tell of witches in my travels and never met one, so I wanted to know if I had met one now.
I would say so, yes.
Also, in terms of being long-lived and communing with spirits, maybe I'm a witch.
Well, it's always fantastic to be in the company of another witch. Just the name itself is not, you know, I don't wear it on my shirt, per se. It has some overall negative social connotations that I'm not super wild about.
But what if we just took the term back?
We could take it back.
What if we rebranded?
I mean, we could absolutely have that conversation if you want to talk about that.
That's for another time. We need to figure out the page
We'll
thing.
table that for now.
When I'm done with the page thing, I'll come back.
I can't with y'all.
If I'm fated to make my way through this, I will return and we will take back the word witch.
Then it will be. But she's collected quite a collection of, different fortune-telling paraphernalia, as it were. And she'll say, so we'll start with some direct insight, I suppose, and see what we can figure out through the crystal ball here. And she'll move over and she'll close the windows and she'll light 2 candles, one on either side of the crystal ball, in a way that refracts the light through the crystal in a way that it almost projects out onto the table and out onto all of you. And then a small trail of light goes on to her. So if she was sitting at a clock, these would be at 4 and 8, as it were.
Is the crystal ball one of the things that lit up as magical for me?
This one seems magical. Like, to actually know what kind of magic and to definitely confirm it's magic, that's more in the domain of like a detect spell.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to see if I get like a magical vibe from it. That's all. I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to like really dig into this business.
Even if you didn't, you're probably about to.
That's fair.
As the light hits these, the color begins to change, and the light moves almost like a kaleidoscope, even though the light sources are not moving. So something's going on here, whether it's a very, very elaborate trick or it's actual magic taking place. It's hard to say just at face value, but it certainly seems magical.
Good to know.
So, she'll reach into her sleeve and like just produce a small charm and set it on the table and cover it with her hands almost in like a triangular shape, not to conceal it in some way, but almost as a way to like focus her attention and focus her mind in such a way. And as she looks into the talisman, you see, almost like PowerPoint style out on the table in front of you, the page in each of your pockets just shown there, but the writing is very blurred. So it is illegible mess on the page. To read one of those things, you actually have to hold it or be in the presence of someone holding it. You glean that immediately. Right. But you start seeing more pages that you do not recognize and cannot read. And so she says, well, we can definitely find them, but telling where they are from here is a bit more of a trick, I suppose. Maybe if we zoom out just a little bit.
Would it help if one of us were to participate in the ritual in some way? If one of us were to hold a page while this was happening? Like, is there anything we can do to help you pinpoint the location better?
Not in this particular ritual. Yep. No, the more cooks in the kitchen, the harder it is to make this soup, so to speak.
Zipnell's gonna raise a hand.
Yes.
What if we gave you a slight direction to look in?
That would be fantastic.
I don't know where it is, but you might, the Druid Grove?
The Druid Grove, oh. So the light on the table will scramble for just a moment, and you'll see, almost like you're getting like a camera view. This is almost like a GoPro view of something moving lightning fast through the forest and seeing in all directions. Yeah. This is a situation of we're checking a lot of area very, very quickly, but in a less precise way. Eventually, the candles go out.
Uh-oh.
The light remains on the table as you find a page. The page seems to be moving very, very fast, and whatever this scrying eye or implement is also moving very, very fast. So this is some shaky, like, found footage kind of imagery you're getting, but you definitely get the vibe that there is a page by or near the Druid Grove.
Zipnell's gonna just excitedly fist pump. I knew it. Kind of. I guessed.
Well spotted, well spotted.
Good on you, Zip.
Yeah.
Another place we could look is, do you know where Lithlim is?
Lithlum is a week's travel or more from here.
We were told of a priest in Lithlum that might also be in possession of a page or has been in contact with one at the very least.
I would have to restart the spell if we were not looking specifically for pages. That's sort of the specific thing that I'm seeking with this iteration of Scribe.
No, it's more just that there might be a page in Lithlum if we wanted to look there, but the Druid Grove is the closest.
Lithlum.
That is the closest, so we should go there first. And once we acquire that page, maybe we'll return.
We get the page from the Druid Grove, come back, see if there's one in Lithlum, head to Lithlum.
We could do that, certainly.
Miriam, you're wonderful.
Well, I try, but I appreciate you saying so.
I need to check something real quick.
How much money do you have left after pickles and coffee?
Yes, actually. I'm going to just slide a gold on the table to her.
She'll pocket that, and she'll put it in another sleeve pocket, and she'll say, "It's appreciated. It's always great to be able to keep food on the table. Is there anything else I can help you with?" Now she sort of like breaks her focus and moves her hands, like the light of the crystal ball goes away, and you're now sitting in a much darker room now that the candles have gone out.
To my knowledge, there's nothing else that we would need of you right now. You've been a great help already. So I guess next is to...
Wait. We might be able to do the two birds once. How do we get to the Druid Grove from here?
The Druid Grove? Well, it is deep set into the hinterlands, so it's going to be quite cold if you're going up there, so I'll caution you about that. If you look up towards the mountains, you'll see both of the highest peaks, and where they converge and go down into a small valley, there is where you would likely find the Druid Grove, unless they've moved from the last time I checked.
Okay, yeah, good.
But regardless of whether or not the Druids have moved, still sends the page in that direction, yes?
With curses like this, they're almost drawn to one another, so if you don't find whichever druid is holding this thing, if it is indeed a druid at all, I'm almost certain they'll find you.
Well, that's disquieting, but
Ominous.
it will do all the same if they show up and come with ill intent. Then it will be handled one way or another. What is fated to be will be.
Hopefully we don't die.
Sorry, hold on. Fate gonna do what it do.
Fate is gonna do what it do, yes. Always has, always will, as far as I know.
This is the coolest old lady.
She'll start to put away some of the other items now that she's thankfully rolled well enough to find these things. And she'll put a potion back away in a small box. Said, "I didn't even have to die for this one. This is great. It's a good day for me."
Excuse me?
Hey, you want to run that one back?
Did you say you
run what?
one? How often do you have to die to tell a fortune?
It would have to be a really specific fortune, you know what I'm saying? Because it's really hard to communicate beyond the material plane unless you know very specific magics. And so the best way to glean information from outside of the material plane is to simply not be on it anymore. And one of the quickest ways to do that is through a facsimile of death. You know, it doesn't really kill you per se, as long as you're responsible about it.
I hate that this makes a lot of sense.
Sometimes you gotta get creative, you know. When you're practicing some of the hedge magics, it's just like, you know. It's sometimes the science of magic is more of an art than a science, you know what I'm saying?
I weirdly do, and that scares me. What's happening to me?
Gonna offer her a coffee bean.
It could simply be Mara's blessing, or maybe you're just particularly insightful on your own. I'm not sure.
I'm coming to a realization that I would probably also be considered a hedge mage.
Well, what about...
I was about to say, practicing any magics outside of the set doctrines is pretty much just hedge mage. I think all warlocks are, most sorcerers.
Wait, so does that mean Kerian's a hedge mage too?
Kerian, you gonna out yourself as a hedge mage?
I don't know if I would describe myself as such. I'm not quite as practiced as as our friend here.
But you
I'm not.
magic.
I'm not super practiced. I can.
Magic.
I'm not super practiced. I can just, and then I'll summon a gun.
I'm not super practiced, just blicky.
I didn't know you were strapped, young man.
Always.
That is a timeless wisdom of staying strapped, of course.
Oh yes, one must. It's dangerous.
One must. I think that phrase itself was penned by the goddess of war. You have to stay strapped, huh?
The goddess of war just like descends upon the people and just like,
Stay strapped.
stay strapped, young man.
Somebody's carving it into a stone and trapped it by a burning bush. Just stay strapped.
I love it.
I cast rudimentary spells through this implement, but other than that, I only have the energy to expend a couple big spells without becoming exhausted, as it were. But it's effective.
We just left, like, at the church that we just left, they had an altar to the goddess of war, and it's just a gun rack on the wall with a shotty.
You see a lever action rifle up there. It's like, yep.
I noticed the talismans that you have. I am an agent of the goddess of fate, Endry, as it were.
Oh, Endry, of course, yes. Quite a useful patron to have, if I may say. Not, useful in an entirely self-serving way. That may have come off wrong, but
Well, I understand fully. One usually does not come upon divine magics in as a direct a way as I have, but here we are.
well, of course. My own religious following, if I were to have one, would likely be to Mara, and she is my muse in a lot of my endeavors. I don't know all of the clerical rites, you understand. That's not my training, that's not my experience.
Neither do I.
Well, then we're of a similar sort, then. You might be a witch after all.
Maybe.
Wait a minute. You're a witch. You're a witch?
I suppose so.
That's awesome.
I practice magic outside of the law, I'll quote fingers, and
Yeah.
I am not...
must insist, within the boundaries of Hilden here, I prefer to go by terms like apothecary or fortune teller. Again, which just has those kind of social sour notes that I like to divorce myself from when
Again,
possible.
once this whole journal business is over, if I am fated to survive, we will take the term back.
I would be infinitely grateful to you for your assistance in such an endeavor.
I'm going to tell people
just
I'm-
way down the
caution
line.
you against that.
Just way down
I would sure not just announce that loudly.
Just way down the line, and we do another campaign. It's just called "We're Taking It Back."
Oh God, yes. The first 2 times I was burned at the stake was because I slipped up and told someone I was a witch.
Isn't that usually a one-time deal?
It's intended to be. You'd be surprised how sloppy most people are with their public
I
killing.
need you to understand that, 5 minutes into talking to this woman, I'd already Miriam is a real one, and it holds true.
Zib's going to say, yeah, actually, people seem to be much better when it comes to the private ones.
Yeah, we don't really go around announcing.
They really do get some kind of sick shit out of that, don't they?
It's really weird. People are weird.
Well, I mean, only a bad person would try and burn somebody else alive, so...
Listen, if we were to say that we were witches and then someone were to feel a way about it and attack us, then fate gonna do what it do, and they might end up in the ground. We'll see.
I mean, that's their choice.
They chose to hasten their demise.
Exactly.
Good of you all to turn my words against me. I appreciate it.
I learned something.
I learned a thing. I'm gonna use it.
Speaking of the pages, though, there was one other question I had for you.
Well, how can I help you?
Would you, by perchance, have some kind of
concoction or anything that we might be able to stave off the negative effects of this curse.
Yes, anti-madness potion.
If it were to start pressing upon our psyches or increase our levels of madness, it might hinder our effects towards resolution.
She'll think for a second. I suppose I have something. I don't have much of it. I could maybe procure you just a vial each of this particular solution. Tell you what, give me one moment. And she'll, as hurriedly as a woman of her years might, just scamper off to the back and
Does
she'll
she
come.
scamper past us?
Yeah, she'll move past you.
Cool, I'm gonna put the trinket in her pocket.
That's very good of you. Roll me a sleight of hand.
Solid 19.
Solid 19. Okay. So she'll, uninterrupted, just move straight to the back. It'll take her 2-3 minutes. She'll come back with, and I mean these just small vials, maybe about 2 inches tall, very thin vials. Each of them just corked with a little bit of paper and wax. And she'll come back to you and carefully place these one each in your hands. Don't drop these. The vials are crystal, and they shatter just like the dickens. You would not believe how easily these shatter. I mean, if you just look at them wrong, they're busted. But this should, at least for a temporary time, if you feel yourself losing the fight for your psyche, stave off that effect for an hour or two tops. It's the best I got right now. And I'm gonna give you a heads up. I like you guys, so I'm just gonna warn you ahead of time. These taste like wide open ass.
I don't.
That's sort of how this thing works.
Not.
It sort of just like shocks you back into a very just like visceral state of disgust, so you're not worried about losing your mind. That's kind of how it works.
Oh, bad. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's bad, but I mean it might be preferable to you as opposed to like going insane.
Insanity, yeah.
Yeah,
it is the oral equivalent of smelling salts.
I do not.
Pretty much, yeah. That's.
I did not possess the ability to taste, so we'll probably have to pour this into my open eye socket. Which I
That would
suppose
be even worse, but I applaud your daring.
Well, I don't really have. My face is kind of just a mask. There's not really eyeballs in there, so.
Do you smell?
I do.
That'll probably be good enough. I covered it with wax for a fucking reason.
Okay, so that
It's real nasty in there.
cracked up on it and I smell like I have all of the senses except taste. Well, maybe I do. I don't. My mouth doesn't open, but maybe if I were to get it to open.
Apothecaries can say bad words.
Can I look wrong at Zib's vial?
Don't do that. Don't look at it. Don't do it. Don't perceive it.
She'll say, well, it's very unfortunate that you can't taste. The dining here in Hilden is, not fancy, but it's first rate as far as taste is concerned. Normally everyone in town does dinner together. Like they bring big tables out of the barn and everybody kind of pitches into a big dinner.
Where? When?
I'll buy into the social aspect of it, even though I cannot eat. And that will be fine for me.
I'll eat your food for you. Don't worry about it.
There you go. No, normally they start, shortly after the workday's done, and everybody just kind of pitches in what they can, and everybody meets in the mid to late afternoon and enjoys dinner together. It's a very good community thing. I normally bring what herbs and stuff that I can to add a little flavor to the food. We got some really fresh tarragon recently. I'm excited.
And we gotta
Damn, they season their food out here? Hell yeah.
And we gotta go into the wood.
I mean, do we have to go right now?
Yeah, we can do that tomorrow. The curse is still going to be cursing tomorrow.
Oh, you probably want to go tomorrow. Going into the woods at night, that's a tough putt.
There's probably scarecrows in there. I don't want to do that at night.
Oh, man, if there was scarecrows in there, you'd be so lucky.
That's horrible. I'm just...
That'd be...
Zib's gonna lay on the floor.
Part of being a fortune teller, you learn as you sort of advance in the skill set that it's not always optional. Sometimes you just see things, and damn if I ain't seen things from up that way. It's pretty not great.
Zib's laying face down on the floor.
Are you quite well? Did you accidentally open the vial?
No, I just
I shouldn't have looked at it. I'm sorry.
just thinking about finding things worse than the scarecrows in the woods, and I need a moment.
She'll pull up a chair and she'll lean way down and just like pat your back. It's almost like a comforting grandmother type motion. She'll say, look, I'm just gonna level with you. There's a bunch of terrible, terrible stuff out there, but there's a bunch of great stuff also. It's part of growing old. It's just learning to take the good with the bad. And if you can leverage the good to help you kind of bestay the bad, then you're in a good way.
Like cinnamon candied coffee.
Cinnamon coffee would be a really good, I would say. You know, not a lot of people around here drink coffee, which is insane to me. It's delicious.
Exactly. These two tell me I need to drink less.
Why would you drink less coffee?
Or to have less
You know how much
coffee.
less work I would get done if I wasn't
They say I need
awake
to
for
have
23
less
hours a day?
coffee.
We said you need to stop eating it.
No,
So
it's
much.
delicious.
You know you can brew it with hot water and create a
Yes.
really good... Okay, I
do
was
know that.
checking.
But sometimes if you're out and about, you just pop a piece of candied coffee in your mouth. Even if it's pre-candied coffee.
But I wonder if you actually candied it, though.
Oh, this? No,
Normally my cauldron is for making, like, really disgusting potions. Like, that's the goal there. But, you know, you could, like, candy some of the coffee. That's a good idea. We could
do you wanna
probably
try-
market that.
Do you want to try candying some coffee?
I don't have any coffee beans, but I could try.
Just a bag immediately up in your face.
He's still lying on the ground, just like face down, and he's one hand rises into the air.
I'm imagining you having a sack of coffee that you could just fit in, like it's a big one.
That one's at the wagon. He just has a small hip pouch of coffee.
Well, yeah, I could certainly give it a go. I'd be ready by dinner time if you wanted to try out some candied coffee. Do you have any favorite flavors?
I am partial to chocolate,
Well, who's not? I mean, really.
but also
I
like
suppose if you had an allergy, maybe, but still.
if you had an allergy, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'll eat your
I'd
chocolate
kind
for
of
you.
just be mad at the gods if I had a chocolate allergy. That's fucked up.
Let's see. If you have any vanilla,
I do have some vanilla, but I keep it in a jar to flavor my sugar.
there you go. Use that.
We could do that. You said something about cinnamon as well. Do you care
Toss
for
a little
cinnamon?
bit of cinnamon in there with the sugar and vanilla.
I've got just a whole ton of cinnamon. We could do that.
Cinnamon's just a universal season.
Well, she'll just carefully accept the sack, and she'll say, I'll have these ready for you by about dinner time. If I see you, I'll give them to you right then.
Fantastic. Wait, hold on. He's gonna pluck out like 3.
Some for the road, I wager?
Yes.
Well, all right then. Make sure you don't miss dinner. You're thin anyway. You need to eat.
That's all I do, but you're right.
Well, then, I mean, if you have a high metabolism, you have to keep calories up.
I love this old woman.
Yeah, I need to make some NPCs just real shitheads, I guess. Everybody's been kind of cool so far.
That's fine with me. I like.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't get enough of that in my day life, so my fantasy is everybody's just vibing and being cool.
Yeah, everybody just chill and cool.
But, yeah. If you guys had any more, like, specific questions or actions or anything like that to try and do that, then you can do that now, or you can proceed.
Did you want us to add just a potion of sanity, I guess, to our inventories?
Yeah, just add something on there called bitters, and you'll be squared away.
All right. Coffee bitters.
Something like that.
No, liquor bitters.
You don't. When you taste it, you're not going to be sure if this was meant for consumption, but it's going to help you not be insane for a little bit.
Like that you just described coffee.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to say, like, when we talk about madness, coffee helps me to not be angry in the morning. Does that count?
Yes.
There you go.
It staves off madness, just not the same kind.
Well, this is more just a bunch of herbs shoved down in a very abrupt and unappetizing mixture of, like, oils and vinegar.
Same, honestly.
Oh God, it's like that thing you purchased from
It's kombucha.
Oh, God.
Hey, it's DJ here, and would you look at that? We are 2 episodes in, and I'm glad to have you listening. Like before, this episode is brought to you by us, and we hope you're enjoying the story as much as we are. Now, I'm not editing this at the last moment because I've been wrapped up in Helldivers 2 and Enshrouded, and I'm definitely not doing it now so that I can play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. That would be irresponsible of me. Anyway, the theme is Scribbling in the Diary, composed by me, as well as music from Ovani Sound, who just have some fantastic sound packs if you haven't noticed. This isn't sponsored or anything, I just really like their products. Next episode is going up in 2 weeks, and we hope to see you there. Stay beautiful, drink water, and let's get back to the game.
So you guys have just finished up with Miriam. I think you guys were on your way out the door when we stopped to take a quick break. Zib, make me a perception check.
Much like Zeb, I'm eating something right now.
And probably much like Zib, you got a little bit of schmutz on your face.
It's a flat 10.
A flat 10, that's just enough. As you guys are turning to leave and headed out the door through like the main entrance there, you'll see her, the same talisman that you planted on her, you'll see her extract that from her pocket and roll it across her fingers, and she'll notice you and give you a wink.
You just smile broadly.
Yeah, even with a 19, you didn't actually get away with that, so.
Darn.
It's a good roll, though. She just happened to also roll incredibly well. She got an 18 on the dice for that one. But yeah, where are you guys headed next?
As we're leaving, he's going to say, wait. Miriam, floor we could crash on.
Yep. Floor?
Or a spare room.
I have a spare room that you're more than welcome to use.
You're a lovely, absolutely fantastic woman.
Well, I appreciate it very much.
We will see you at dinner. And he's gone.
And she'll give you guys a wave and go back to brewing what she's doing.
Hunting lodge.
Brewing what she's doing.
Hunting
Or did we want
lodge.
to futz about around town?
Do we have to go past the hunting lodge to get to the Druid Grove anyway?
Pretty much.
And then we should probably just do the hunting lodge tomorrow then, yes?
Okay.
All right. Were you guys looking to do anything specific around town, or?
I didn't have anything planned to do around town. Maybe just people watch.
I think we should stop off since she said it was going to be cold. We should probably pop in and see if we can't get some like cold weather protection for our gear, fur inserts or anything for our armor. That sort of
Just
stuff.
anything you could do to like get a coat, maybe a set of gloves or something. You should be okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I am down with that. Where do we need to go to do that?
You guys will not find like an extravagantly stocked clothier or anything, but you will find just a simple tailor where they do have some items pre-made, and you'll be able to find some gloves that they're like almost a knitted style glove. You'll be able to find just some long coats that are linen that have some fur attached, and then you'll even find some like really fuzzy, warm looking snuggly socks.
I do love me some socks.
Hell yeah.
How much for these plush-looking socks?
Plush-looking socks, you can probably get those for 2-3 silver. There's not much to any of this, but the actual linen itself. It's not like you're buying like really expensive leathers or anything. So yeah, like if everybody wanted to just get like winter weather kitted, everybody could probably do so for 5-6 silver.
Okay, I will do so.
Yeah.
I don't want to be cold.
You're in charge of this, Tyler. I don't need to eat or drink, but do I still have to worry about like inclement weather? I'm assuming it would probably like mess with my just joints and stuff. Like if things were to get like too cold, and it could fuck up my.
I would say if you wanted to do anything more dexterous, that like very, very cold or very, very hot weather could leave you prone to some minor malfunctioning in a way that might fuck with your dexterity. So I mean, it would be good to sort of isolate anything that needed to be temperature controlled.
And then yeah, I'll get some cold weather.
There we go.
Could we get by saying he needs less cold weather stuff?
I mean,
Like
if
maybe,
he,
maybe
yeah.
half as much as we do.
I mean, I would be fine with that. Yeah.
The money, like, I'm good.
Let me argue with the GM.
Why?
Wanted to.
Oh yeah, let him argue with me. That's just going to make this harder later. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you guys are coming out of the tailor with your fresh clothes on, man, you guys are looking fresh. No,
I pose like I'm on the album cover.
yeah. somebody just runs by and sketches you guys really quick and then runs off, and then
What the hell?
but you'll see like some of the younger guys starting to gather in the center of town, and out of a barn on the far side, they're like carting these like big picnic style tables out towards the city center square.
Zib will pop some coffee in his mouth and be like, "Oh, so that's where we're going."
Yeah, as Miriam described, everybody starts, when the workday is done, everybody pitches in a little, so nobody has to do too much. So there's some people who are starting a couple of cooking fires in these like big metal basins. There are people who are, kind of helping to get everything set up. And then there are people who are just bringing in different foods. There are people who are preparing to cook some things and stuff like that. Everybody's sort of performing a cooperative effort to get dinner together.
Zib would absolutely try and help somebody set up.
Yep. Maybe like just if somebody needs something chopped, and if not, maybe just clean up afterwards.
Yeah, you would definitely see a younger looking lady, and she has a son and daughter who are just sitting there like peeling vegetables. They would appreciate some help. Or
Oh, I'm so good at peeling vegetables. Here I go.
yeah, if you were feeling a little stronger of back, there are people who are still like, moving some tables around and adjusting some stuff like that. I know they would love some help, bringing in different like crates of stuff and things like that. So
And I can help with that.
I'm gonna help with the potato peeling, and I'm gonna entertain the kids by doing knife tricks while I do it.
ooh, fun. Roll me a performance.
Okay, that's going to be a 6.
A 6.
Look, even a bad performance will entertain kids
Oh
if
no!
they're young
Like
enough.
they are not only delighted. You see the little boy like testing the heft of the knife, about to try it himself.
No. Don't do that.
No.
I
He
am
was
a
like look
professional.
confused for a second, but give you a nod, and then go back to peeling the potatoes. And
I'm just gonna eye him the whole time now to make
but
sure
you
he doesn't
could
start.
tell like he's mechanically working out in his head how he's going to try this later.
That's. I should.
Just like that, you're a bad influence. Welcome to.
Zibinel's gonna be like, I've taught kids how to steal before. Maybe I should.
You
just
could try and show him something easier.
I will do that.
Okay. Roll me another performance at advantage this time.
All right. So first, it's going to be an 18.
Oh yeah.
The second one is an 18.
So 18, safe to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll demonstrate like a little flourish once, just to show like the impressive, the impressive dexterity of it, and then you'll do it again and slow it like way down so they can actually see like the motion of the wrist and how you change your grip as you do it. And then the kid will like attempt it and be unsure, and like after a couple of tries, he'll like get the very, very slow version of it. But that's something to work on for the future. So yeah, now maybe he's not going to lose a finger later. So that's good.
Okay. Don't show children how to twirl blades around their wrists.
Yeah, like the kid's like 6 or 7. He's not probably super ready for that, but
When he hit.
now you've given him a much more achievable stepping stone that can be performed with a modicum of safety.
I feel accomplished in this moment.
Oh yeah.
What's wrong?
Oh,
But as everything gets together, you just see kind of people talking about their day, stuff that's happening. Cows were being a little bit difficult today. All the animals just seem like they're kind of frustrated just with the overcast day and everything like that. People are getting all the vegetables chopped up, herbs collected, the stocks and stuff that they've cooked off of like meat and bone and stuff like that, so that they can, you know, really thicken up these soups and make them hearty. And everybody's sort of got everything together. It's almost like a buffet style once people are starting to get set up, but everything's cooking, and it's about 5:30, getting close to 6 at night, when, you know, dinner is ready per se, and everybody's just kind of going around and talking. They've got their bowls, so, they'll put them like a nice wedge of freshly baked bread in there. It's just nice golden brown on top with a crispy crust, but it's really fluffy in the center. They've got some like nice butter to go along with that if that is your proclivity. There's like a really deep, hearty vegetable stew that's got like a stock made from game that they got from the hunters. Regarding the game, you can also see like some slices of cured meat that they've got together to just kind of go alongside that. It's a farming village, so it's a big vegetarian menu with some meat available. They don't have chicken and stuff like that available. They don't have beef out there because cows and chickens are too useful for laying eggs and dairy, respectively, as opposed to just raising them specifically for slaughter and meat and stuff like that. But they do have all that available to you. And everybody just has like a nice breakfast. They're sitting down. Everybody's enjoying their time. Water, ale, or wine, whatever is to your taste.
Water.
Yeah. So yeah, everybody's having dinner. Is there anything you guys want to particularly discuss at your table? You want to talk about your upcoming day or anything else going on?
At the table, Zib's just going to sit there for a moment, like double fisting food. And then he's going to turn to his two compatriots and be like, I don't know how you guys got your pages.
Oh, do we have like our own table or?
You would just be sitting somewhere along one of like, they have almost a dozen of these large picnic style tables. The village isn't that big. So to say that there's like 50, 60 people living here, including like children, is probably accurate. So it doesn't really take all that much.
Fair enough.
That's sort of how they've gotten into this, at least for this part of the day, this sort of like community effort towards making sure that everybody's all right and has what they need. And, the first half of the day, everybody's kind of like putting in the work to achieve that. And then the second part of the day, we're checking up and hanging out.
So I've only had mine for like a few weeks. How did y'all get y'all's?
Mine came from the family, which would mean that I've been in possession of my page for quite a while.
What about you, Kerian?
He's going to kind of just like have this faraway look as if he's remembering something. His eyes drift downwards towards the table and go half-lidded for a moment, and he just, I got mine from my daughter. She was very ill and was a sickly sort. It didn't stop her from going out in the village and where I was living as a guard, playing with the children and all of that stuff and just trying to have as normal a childhood as she could. And then as children do, she ended up finding herself some trouble and came across this page somehow, somewhere. Best we can figure, they might have been exploring out in the woods or headed a little bit further out from the homestead than we'd have preferred as her parents. And, she found the page and it stuck to her. I was already afraid I was going to lose her to life as it was. And this on top of it was just too much for someone of her age to have to deal with. So in preparing for the worst, I turned to Rayshawn and seek to try and ease her passing as best I could. And in my dealings with him, I found out that there might have been a different way, a sacrifice I could make as a father for his daughter, taking on her burdens as my own, as is right and just in the world, and going out and committing deeds in his name as he so wishes.
Well, damn.
He's gonna kind of smile sadly and just like, hey, it ain't all bad. She's still with us, and she's still as beautiful as ever.
So is your...
I like you should roll it back like, yeah, it's kind of a bummer.
Is the mother of your daughter still with us as well?
He's gonna kind of look up and his eyes go wide. He's like, well, I hope so. He's gonna kind of laugh and just be like, yeah, everything was fine when I last left, but I gotta honor my deal of the bargain, and maybe if I can find some way of getting rid of this page, I'll have a nice rest of my life to return home to.
That's good.
That's really sweet.
Mine was imparted to me as the noble house I served fell. One of Lady Killain's children were in possession of the page. Not a young child, Lady Killain had been pretty long in the years by the time it all fell. One of her sons was in possession of the page and imparted it to me as he died. He was the last to go.
Oh, this stew's very good.
What about you, Zip?
It looks good.
Oh yeah, I have to eat some for you. Don't worry, I got you. It was forced upon me by someone as I smothered them with the pillow.
What a cheerful bunch we are.
Dark.
Okay, so in my defense, it was self-defense.
That's a pretty good defense to have.
Well, not necessarily my self-defense, but I was defending my siblings.
That is quite fair.
Just, the nobles seems to think that children going missing from an orphanage is a very good way to make sacrifices to Rist, and I did not like that. So I snuck into his house, found his shrine, destroyed it, took an item, and used it to make sure he couldn't move a pillow off of his face.
And how old were you when this happened?
16.
Yeah. It's around this time you will feel a hand on your shoulder, Zib, and she'll say, hopefully this will sweeten up a bit of a sour story. And she'll drop a bag of candied coffee beans in front of you.
Oh no, the story was great, but this does make it better. No, my story has a happy ending. A bad person stopped being alive.
Well, that means that you did right then, eh?
Exactly. And I got this cool stick out of it.
Good
And
for you.
And a cursed page.
Well, maybe that's not so
good.
good.
Not so good for you.
Look, I
was about to say, you can't win them all, champ, right? If you go to open the bag, you're almost overwhelmed with the fresh fragrance of cinnamon. There's the slightest whisper of vanilla behind it. And just the immediate smoky sweet smell of caramel as well.
I need this to be a thing in real life so bad.
And they wouldn't be hard to make. Like, surely somebody's done it.
So terribly bad. Like, I need this exact recipe of candied coffee.
Yeah, she just took it and, like, had some sugar, spices, and what, like, I'm gonna guess, like, a little splash of milk. Like, she cooked it down to soften the coffee beans and kind of infuse it with a little flavor. And then you can pour that off and have a hell of a drink. But also the coffee beans are a little softer, and then she would have dried those and then rolled them in the caramelized sugar as it was crystallizing. So now you have just like these nice little golden nuggets that have a soft, chewy coffee bean in the center.
And he absolutely just tosses one in his mouth at that moment, and he just sits there kind of blissed out for a second.
Oh yeah, it's a life-changing snack.
This is the best thing I've eaten ever.
You okay
While
there?
he's going on some psychedelic trip from a movie from the late 70s. Let's see. Everybody roll me a quick perception.
Uh-oh.
Never.
It's dice rolling time.
Everybody.
Everybody said their sad stories, and now it's time to roll dice. Dude.
18 for me.
I just stepped mine up a little bit because Devin just came in here like out the gate.
Look, you cannot convince Devin that his story is sad.
Like Devin came in here out the gate just strings.
But yeah, it looks like Bernie with a 22, DJ with an 18, myself with a 16.
Yeah.
Okay, so you would have all noticed this. You're starting to get like the colorful hues of the sun starting to set in the sky, and everybody's just like eating and having a good time. You guys see a larger bird being chased by what appear to be a ton of other birds and like harassed by these birds, and like you don't make anything of it, but I mean it's noticeable in the otherwise quiet day.
Y'all see that too, right? If Miriam's still there, I'll also point it out to her.
No, that looks...
Correct me if I'm wrong, but when we saw the page earlier, it was moving at quite a decent clip, wasn't it?
That it was, if I remember correctly. And who got over a 20 on that perception?
'Twas me. 22.
So, Bernie, you can keep this to yourself, or you can express this, but the two birds that are harassing the one bird Neither of those two birds have heads.
All right, come on, G. Why you got to do that?
I regret to inform all in my current company that two of those birds seem to be headless.
Just immediate.
That's pretty fucked up.
Just immediately on edge. How far are they from us?
They seem to be pretty high up and like a block or so down from where everybody's eating. They're not like directly over the city center.
I'm going to keep a very wary eye on them.
Once again, classic move for Killain, blicky out under the table, just in case.
All right, so you got the Han Solo ready for him.
Yep.
So this will play out over the next couple of minutes, and eventually, like through some evasive maneuvers and attempts to escape, that first bird comes flying over where everyone is eating in a very sharp downward angle and eventually hits the ground. Coming out of a transformed shape, you see a young adult girl in the trappings of a druid.
And that was okay, great. And where are the headless birds?
They are like sitting on the rooftops now, almost observing to kind of see what happens.
I'm gonna make a bold move here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna shoot at one of those fucking birds.
Hey, if I was gonna shoot at one too. You want to pick one? I pick the other.
I'll go left. You go right.
All right.
I'll go to the girl.
Okay, a lot of things are going to happen at once here. So as you're moving over to the girl, I'm imagining just exchanging glances rather than working this out with, a protracted logic. So if you guys are going to exchange glances and make these attack rolls, I'm going to have you wait just 1 second for me, but go ahead and just know that you're on deck to do that.
Fair.
Devin, as you go over to this girl, you see sort of just dressed in like leathers and that's accented with like woods and then different like large, broad, dried leaves at places and stuff like that. She has very, very dark skin. She's got like a side shave, but from the rest of it back is very, very long braids. And from the state of her ears, you would estimate to be a half-elf. She is unconscious right now.
Can I make some kind of check to see? My medicine's not super great.
If you wanted to try and make sure that she was stable or get her up somehow or appraise her wounds otherwise, it would be a medicine check.
Okay.
Just the immediate notice is there's like a lot of roughly hewn abrasions across her body, stuff that Zib might be familiar with if you remember taking a look at him from this morning.
As he comes over, he's going to probably, check her pulse real fast. That is a 20 on the medicine check.
20, okay. Her heart is beating. She is breathing. She is essentially making death saves in this moment.
Oh, no.
That's no good.
At this point, some of the people from the town are starting to quickly gather and see what's happening because you really don't just see this every day. Miriam comes over. My God, what's happening? And she'll, appraise the situation alongside Kerian. Is this anyone that you know?
No, but she seems fairly wounded. Have we had the effects of any kind of rest?
You've been chilling for most of the day, so I'm going to say that you would have gotten a long rest in the time that you've just been relaxing and eating today. The work that you've done has been very non-exhaustive light work, so... So
then, I'll drop a cure wounds on her.
How much are you curing for?
Let's find out. Is that a whopping 3?
Woo! Hey,
It's not 0.
3 is better than unconscious making death saves. So.
Three is stabilized and up, moving around.
Yeah, she is
minimum on that.
Like as where her breathing had been ragged and shallow before, you get like this very sharp. As she opens her eyes, she's got like these bright golden irises and starts looking around, seeing what's going on. None of you are familiar, so she is in like an appropriate state of shock, starting to like trying to back away. Before she starts looking around, trying to appraise the birds that were chasing her. As she sees them, the birds begin to move, and I would like you both to make your attacks now if you would like.
Pew. That is a 22. Wait, no, a 20. We're not blessed. Dirty 20.
What you got, Bernie?
Eldritch Blast, I guess. Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch Blast. 21. Oh, wait, what? Why did it roll twice? Never mind, I got a crit fail with a 6.
Is that a 6 total?
6 total, baby. And a crit fail is a 1.
All right, you, DJ, yours will absolutely hit the mark. And quite superseding the total HP of a small bird, it will come out of a wild shape as the other one takes off and is just going much higher up into the sky. With this one, you see what would have been a very, very tall, broad-shouldered person. Their limbs appear to be a very emaciated, very long, very gaunt, specifically in the forearms, much longer than any like humanoid forearm that you might expect, ending in these long clawed fingers, very, very bony, very brittle looking. Each of them is still just clothed in like skins, and it is wielding one of those hatchets in each hand that you would have noticed from this morning. And it immediately jumps down from the roof and goes to make an attack against the druid who had fallen.
Are you approaching me?
Do you pose and everything?
But yeah, if it's getting close to me, I don't know if there would be enough time from it landing on the ground and rushing towards us for me to draw my weapon.
Drawing a weapon is part of your movement action, right?
It's what you want it to be, baby.
I know you can do it as part of a movement, but it's normally some type of action otherwise. Like a free object interaction, I think.
I think it's just part of movement, though.
Yeah.
And if we get the rules wrong, somebody will.
Oh, yeah. Somebody's going to fucking tell me. Either way, this thing is moving very, very fast in a very, very surprising and erratic way. So it's got the drop on you in this moment. That doesn't mean I'm not going to let you attack it if it goes to move past you. You just slug it with your fist or something like that. DJ has made an attack. This thing is following up with an attack, and then we're going to get into an initiative order.
Oh, boy.
So this thing is moving very deliberately, rushes in, lifting its arms up in such a way that it's trying to take this hatchet. It is aiming to behead this girl. And that attack is a miss, but just barely. She is almost like rolling away in a very guarded position, like trying to prepare herself to not die to another of this thing's attacks. And with that, I would like everybody to roll me an initiative.
I can do that.
I will never do that.
19.
18.
You'll never get me to roll initiative. Copper.
Bernie loses his turn.
See, that's what you get.
Hi. Bernie
Another.
gets pie.
I got 3.14. No. I got a 3. Tyler?
Nice.
Because God hates me.
Hey, look, fate's gonna do what it's gonna do, right?
If they gonna do what it do, it's like that's my second one in a row.
Look, you're getting them out now. It's fine.
Yeah, it's way better to get them out now.
Hopefully.
So let me jot these down. Everybody follow up with me. What were your initiatives?
19. For me, Fibonel.
What'd you get, Devin?
An 18 for Kieran.
Gotcha. And Bernie's got a 3.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep the Cajun accent, but I keep finding myself slipping into like almost Southern dandy at times.
Then just go with it.
Just be a Southern dandy.
Yeah, you're just well-traveled throughout the South. Ain't no problem.
Ain't no thing.
But yeah, that puts Zibinel at the top of the round. Go for it.
All right, is Kerian close enough to where I get sneak attack if I shoot him?
Oh, he's right next to this thing, yeah.
Okay, cool. I hate everything that you are, and I'm going to shoot him with the short bow.
Nice.
And that's an 11. Never mind. No, I'm not.
Arrow sails just wide, overcome very slightly with your hatred there.
He's not thinking straight. That's I don't want to, but I will get closer mainly to make sure that this thing has another target than the defenseless girl on the floor.
Goyle.
The Goyle.
The Goyle.
And yeah, I'll get close up to and that is my turn.
Gotcha. Devin, you're up.
Can I spend my movement to move her out of his reach in any way without her taking an AOO?
If you wanted to pick her up and move her, you could take the AOO.
Okay. I'm assuming she's still on the ground, or she kind of scooted it back a little bit, but he would probably just kind of physically step between the two of them to make space for her.
Yeah. If you're going to just interject yourself in between, you don't have to necessarily take an AOO if you're just trying to physically block the thing. But if you want to move her at all, it's going to take part of your movement as well.
I don't think I have anything else to do with my movement. So yeah, if I can move her, part of my movement, then I'll do that.
Yeah, she's not particularly heavy, so it will not be a strength check or anything. But how far away are you trying to move?
Just trying to move her out of his immediate radius so that I can try and start locking him down.
Gotcha. As you start to move a few feet away, it will swing at you. Oh, nice. Does the 16 beat your AC?
Does not.
Aha.
Ooh.
So a particularly vicious-looking attack with the axe just glances off some of your armor as you are able to get her away and just like settle her down in a way where she's not just like rolling in the dirt trying to defend herself. But yeah, in that way you can turn back towards this thing, and if you wanted to move back some space, you do still have that free interaction to draw your weapon if you'd like.
Okay.
But moving her, I'm going to say, would have taken your action.
Okay. Yeah, so he'll draw his weapon, and I could bonus action something, but any bonus action I would take would cost my last spell slot.
Well, you guys did just rest up, didn't you? Oh, yeah, you used Cure Wounds. Never mind.
Yep.
I'm stupid. Ignore me.
Ignore me.
It's kind of hard to ignore you when you're the DM, Mike.
You're right about that.
I'll just spend my bonus action to activate the Tunnel Fighter.
Uh-huh. Good.
So he just kind of draws his halberd, steps in between, like pushes her out, and then kind of takes up that defensive stance between this axe-wielding maniac and the druidess.
Perfect. Right, next up is this thing's turn, and it is again going to try and make an attack action. One against Devin, and then it's also going to try and attack Miriam as well.
Bad.
Does a 22 beat your AC, Devin?
It sure does. Christ.
So that first attack is going to be 9 slashing damage. And make me a Constitution save, please.
Is it 21 to save?
That does save. Next attack is against Miriam. Oof. Who will cast shield. And then that will be its turn.
Since it attacked Miriam, is Miriam... it's within 5 feet of me, I'm assuming, and making an attack against someone who's not me?
Yeah, if you had moved back to where you were, then yes, that would be the case.
I mean, if it attacked me with its axes, I'm assuming it's within melee range of me.
Uh-huh.
And then did it move, or did it...
Well, what I'm saying is that from where you were standing with the druid, Miriam was beside you, you moved away, and if you came back, then Miriam would still be beside where you had originally been. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So if you moved back to where you were to engage this thing, then it gets an attack on you and also attacks her.
Gotcha.
So this is a separate attack. It is targeting her. If you wanted to do something about that, you can.
Sentinel says when a creature within 5 feet of me makes an attack against a target other than myself, as long as she doesn't also have the Sentinel feat, which I don't think she does, but...
Wouldn't that be wild?
And Miriam the Sentinel Witch.
What if I just min-max the fuck out of Miriam? Right?
Then I can use my reaction to make a melee weapon attack against the attacking creature.
Go for it.
I don't have anything I can equip to this, so it's just going to be a hiya.
Get him, hit him.
21 to hit.
Ooh.
21 does hit.
For 12 total damage, slashing.
Ooh. It doesn't have a head to scream with, but it will gesticulate in frustration as the other bird that was in the sky will plummet directly down, flying into the ground, crushing its small bird body, out of which will grow in a very visceral and almost very physically gross way another of these things. That will then move into melee, and it will attack you, Devin. Holy shit. All right.
Move into melee?
Bye,
Against
Devin.
me?
It will move into melee against you.
All right. Well, I'm pretty sure that triggers my trap card. Polearm Master. Creatures provoke an opportunity attack for me when they enter the reach I have with that weapon.
That does seem to be the case.
All right. Since I did activate Tunnel Fighter, this attack of opportunity does not cost my reaction, so I can still do it even though I've spent my reaction this turn.
Correct.
All right. So as it approaches me, like I just took the axes and then smacked it on the hand as it attacked Miriam. And then I see this bird collapse behind me, and I just spin my halberd around and just try and jab at it as it's coming closer.
Yeah.
Action economy.
Dang. That is just a 10. I don't think I have advantage on it, so.
Pathetic. No, that does not hit. And then this thing will continue. You attacked it, so it will use its reaction against you. There's a lot happening. Alrighty, that is a 20 to hit.
Will hit.
That is 10 damage with one of these hatchets.
Jesus.
And then now it's just going to attack you with its action.
Did it move within my range again?
Now it made its reaction attack against you at range, but
Okay.
now as it's moving up to take its action attack at you, it did move another 5 feet.
Hit him again.
Yeah. I believe. Oh no, never mind. I can't do it. So Tunnel Fighter does say if a creature moves more than 5 feet within my reach, while within my reach, then I can use my reaction to make a melee attack. But they specifically worded it so that it's not an attack of opportunity.
Yeah.
So it would still cost my reaction, which I've already spent, so I can't do it.
So its next attack was a natural 20. Does anybody have any reactions before we move to damage?
Who's he attacking?
Devin.
He's attacking me, and I've already taken 2 hits this round alone.
So we're still at the table, right? Where everybody was? Would you say that I'm within 5 feet of him? I have
You
a
guys
move.
attacked from the table?
Yeah, like I shot from the table and had
I'm going to say that they're about 15 feet away. Because they did have to, move to go approach where this druid fell.
Okay. Then I can't do anything from here.
And I have nothing that I can do for you. I'm
I've done a
sorry.
reaction.
I'm
That
mentally
is
silvery
17
barbarians.
damage slashing.
Oh.
I am at 1.
And make me a constitution save, please.
That's a 23 on the save.
Damn, you are good at that.
I'm at 1 HP.
Fucking get affected by my axes. God damn it.
I mean, I am affected by the axes, just not the additional effect.
Likewise, you've been very affected by axes so far. Likewise, it is going to roll another attack at Miriam,
Hey, stop it.
which
You love
does
her.
not even come close to beating her AC while she has shield up. Up next is Miriam's turn, and I think she is going to risk an AOO to move a little bit. She's going to create a little space. Thankfully, that is a miss. Miriam is going to cast Witch Bolt.
Excuse me, you mean Hedge Mage Bolt?
Yeah, she's going to cast Hedge Mage Bolt. She's going to cast Apothecary Fortune Teller Bolt.
Yeah.
And then is going to use a bonus action to splash a little health potion on Devin's face.
Love you, Miriam.
Just a little
This
spurt.
is a small one, so don't get wild. You get 4 hit points back.
I just picture her saying that.
This is a little one. Don't get too wild. And then we move to Bernie's turn.
Yay! Finally.
At last.
How close is one of them to a wall?
To a wall?
A wall.
I'd say within 10 feet.
do I have enough movement to get on the opposite side of that creature that just hit Devin? And
With all 30 of your movement, yes. So essentially, to paint this picture, you guys were at a picnic table. A druid fell out of the sky about 15 feet away. Devin, then Miriam, went over there to assist with that.
I am also over there.
You did move at the end of your turn, that's correct. Devin picked up the druid, settled her against a wall, and then came back. And then now these two beings are face to face with your three friends over there. So if you take it at an angle and use all 30 of your feet, you can angle this thing to be in between you and a wall.
All right, so I'm going to get to that angle. I'm going to cast a spell that is out of Steinhardt's. It is called Arm Cannon.
Oh. You Mega Man now?
I'm Mega Man now, so what's going to happen
good.
is, it would normally fire bones, but I ain't got none of those.
Sure.
So we're just gonna fire metal at this point, out of my arm. I'm going to make a ranged spell attack, and hopefully not completely fuck it up. Yeah, that's a 23 to hit. I'm assuming that hits.
That absolutely hits. God, could you imagine?
Could you imagine? All right, so then it's not doing the damage correctly. That's upsetting. The fuck, game? Alright, I'll fix that in a second. I'll just roll the 4d8. So it'll do 4d8 damage, then it needs to make a strength check against my spell save DC, which is 13. And if not, it is thrown 15 feet into said wall and pinned.
Oh,
Gotcha.
that's sick.
So I need a DC 13 strength save, and if it fails, it will be locked into a wall.
And you said that was a DC 13?
DC 13.
All right. With Headless Abomination A being the one that Devin is already stricken, Headless Abomination B has not been attacked yet. Who are you firing this at?
Headless Abomination A.
Got it.
Whichever
That is
one.
only a 7 on the dice, so it does not quite make it for a DC 13.
Okay, so then it will be pushed 15 feet or however many feet it takes to get to a wall, and then it is pinned and restrained until the start of its next turn.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Right on. Is that everything for your turn?
Yeah, that is my turn. I ran and I shot an arm cannon. I had a pretty good turn.
You said until the start of its next turn?
Until the start of its next turn, yeah.
So it's...
I mean, you guys go before...
So yeah, Zibinel and then yourself will have an opportunity to do something about that before they get to go again.
With advantage because he'll be restrained.
Oh, I don't even got to use steady aim.
Nope.
I am going to shoot it, though.
Yes, good.
There I go shooting it with advantage.
Before you do that, there is essentially at the end of each round like a city action of like just the regular people reacting to all of this. So
Yeah, because a
what's
lot
happening?
happened in like 6 seconds, huh?
Well, yeah, pretty much. I mean, they saw these two monstrosities pop out of birds and begin attacking a girl that popped out of another bird. So they may have something that they can do within 6 seconds.
Yeah.
Most of them are just backing away to a safe distance. You see a few brave souls like approaching with just like farm implements and stuff like that, sort of making sure that this stays a contained incident. And then Ansur begins to move over, but cannot quite make it to you guys yet.
Ooh. Yeah, let the cleric get over here. Let the sin eater get over here. He's going to eat these sins.
Okay, so that'll be Zibinel. You said you were attacking against the pinned and restrained one?
Yep, he's going to draw back. His bow's going to glow like light pink, and he's going to fire.
Cool.
For a 16.
16, that'll hit.
And he does 26 damage.
Jesus Christ.
16 of that is radiant.
All right, what else did you want to do on your turn?
Honestly, I'm going to move over to the girl
Mm-hmm.
and just be like, we're here to help. And then I'm going to... Is it a clear shot from us to Sin Eater?
Yeah, as the crowd has dispersed a little bit, you can see him moving over with like a specific like intent and determination on his face.
Zibinel's going to say, get to him, get behind him.
Oh, yeah, I never actually told you the damage on that. It was 21.
For the cannon?
I believe so. Let me double check.
Rolled in bones.
Yeah, it was 4d8 is correct. It's 21.
21, 26. And Devin has already been slapping the shit out of this thing. Okay, the one pinned against the wall is looking pretty bad.
He's fucking better.
And for her to do her thing, we're going to go ahead and put her on the initiative order at a 16. That's not bad.
Mm-mm. Oh, question.
What's up?
Is the other headless abomination within 30 feet of us?
Oh yeah, it's right in melee. It's getting ready to fully become a food processor.
Cool. Just gonna roll a d20 and add.
Don't you ravening war at me.
I'm just gonna use the short bow stats for this, for the roll.
Mm-hmm.
A 9 doesn't do anything. He just slings off a bit of that pink energy at the other guy, and it kind of fizzles out.
Yeah. Again, goes wide by just a bit, but this is a chaotic situation. That's to be expected. So then we will move to Devin's turn. What you got?
The one that was restrained to the wall, how far did it travel?
It was moved back about 10 feet from you guys.
I can probably just hope that the girl is kind of out of danger at this point. She made a run for it.
Not necessarily.
It's not her turn in the initiative yet.
Oh, okay. But DJ, you're over there next to her, or?
I am next to her, and I just told her to go towards Senator Ansur. I sent her towards Ansur.
I'm just trying to... So I don't think I'd be able to get an attack off at the one that's restrained without putting myself in a precarious position with the one that we still have left. So I'll probably just use my false life invocation to give myself some extra HP and position myself closer to the one that's on the wall without getting out of range of the one that I'm engaged with.
Mm-hmm.
That way I can, if it does kind of cross by me, I might be able to...
Devin.
Yeah.
Didn't you reach 10 feet anyway? So it would move 10 feet back, you can still hit it. Wasn't it right next to you?
It was.
It was, but what I meant by precarious position is even if I ended up killing it, it would leave me with 5 HP and engaged in combat with the one that hasn't taken damage yet. So I figure if I just get myself into a position that if it does move from where it is at, I might be able to get an attack of opportunity on it. So using my bonus action to maintain Tunnel Fighter, using my action for a false life to give myself some temporary HP. And
How much temp HP did that give you?
5 temp HP.
Sweet.
So puts me up to an effective 10.
Woo! Big numbers.
Hey, it might be exactly what I need to not go down again. And then, yeah, so bonus action for Tunnel Fighter, action for False Life, and movement to position myself so that I'm still adjacent to this one, but kind of within range of the one that's pinned.
Gotcha. Alrighty. Now, did you want to make an attack, or...
False Life would be my action, so I don't
Got
think
it. Okay. I wasn't sure about how the invocation on that worked. Sounds good.
It says I can cast
next,
it at will.
up next will be the Druid's turn, and she is going to quickly move. Self-preservation seems to be her number one. But as she gets up from the spot, you're going to see her grab at her waist and pull off a cord that has what looks like a wasp's nest on it.
Mm-hmm.
And spike it at the ground as she heads off towards Senator Ansur. And part of that, you see about 4 of these wasps come out. 3 of these wasps come out. And each of them is going to glow for a moment before firing a magical dart at the one that is still standing in melee with you guys. Dealing 3 damage each, so that'll be 9 damage against it. And then she will hurry off towards some assistance.
Good.
You gotta love spelling bees, right?
Yeah.
Womp womp.
I'll see myself out of this window right now.
Oh yeah, you can see on camera. I'm fucking pleased with myself.
Please ask punch.
But yeah, that will be her turn, and then it moves into their turns. So this one is now no longer pinned and restrained against the wall. Yeah, it's going to try and chase her, so I'm going to say it will be attempting to leave your threatened squares, Devin.
All right.
No. Save her.
That is a 16 to hit.
That hits.
All right. It's only 9 points of damage, but his movement is reduced to 0.
All right, he's pinned on the spot. You did attack him, so as a reaction, he's going to fling a hatchet at you.
Now you got this. He's gonna miss.
He did not miss.
Damn it. He's gonna do
But he
1
did
damage.
roll a 1 on the damage die, so he's only doing 5 damage.
Hey, oh. Oh, that's just enough.
Temper HP puts me back down to 5.
These things have a pretty decent strength modifier. So yeah, that'll be its turn. And then the one that is in melee with you guys, who's it attacking? I'm thinking 1 each at Miriam and Zibinel.
Hey, no.
Rolls an 18 to hit Miriam. That hits. Rolls. Holy shit. 17 to hit Zibinel.
I think that hits me. It does. I cry?
First attack does 12 damage against Miriam. That's a lot. She's unhappy. Second attack does 10 damage against Zibinel.
Ugh. It'd be cooler if it didn't do that much damage, actually.
Yeah, but they're not very cool. Like, where you guys are rad, and like Old Ernest and Ansur and Miriam, like y'all are all rad. This is not rad. This is not a rad being.
Me no happy.
And that'll be its attacks for the turn. After that, we move to Miriam, who is looking a little bit rough, but
Feel that, Miriam.
the same, to be honest. I want to say she is going to hit this thing with an alchemist fire. It does make that save, so there's a quick flash on the ground, but it appears mostly uninjured from that. After that, we move right into Bernie's turn.
Tried and true Eldritch Blast. An Eldritch Blast on the one that pulls itself off the wall.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. 15?
How much?
15.
15, that'll hit.
Yeah.
For 4 force damage.
4 force damage is 1 more than you needed.
Hell yeah.
Oof. Yeah.
Blow this thing's chest cavity wide open. Let's go.
So this thing is going to fall to the ground and stink very badly.
Awful.
Yeah. And what else you got?
That's my turn.
All right, we're going to have Ansur act on the city action, more or less. And he is going to, we're going to say, cast a pretty hefty Cure Wounds here. It'll be 11 damage back, or 11 hit points back to her. And then he's going to continue to move, like pushing out an arm to make sure that she's behind him. And he's going to continue to move, dropping like a heavy-looking metal incense censer on 3 chains. He's just going to like look like he's ready to swat this thing with it, but he can't quite get into melee with it.
Oh, hell yeah.
And then that puts us back at the top of the round. So, Zibinel, what you want to do?
Zibinel's gonna take a wide stance.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna draw his bow back, aim directly at the base of where a neck would be on this thing,
Yeah.
and let loose the dogs of war. For 26. That is a crit.
26.
A 26 to hit, I mean.
It's the big dogs of war you got there.
I was about to say.
That is...
I'm just going to tell you that a 26 misses, my God. No, you're good. That hits, absolutely.
let's
It
see.
casts silvery barbs. Fuck.
18 plus...
Remember, we're on brutal crits, too, so one set of the dice you just maximize.
Even on the sneak attack?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so instead that's going to be 20 sneak attack damage.
Mm-hmm.
And looks like it's going to be 9 plus 6, so 15.
Ooh,
35 damage.
that is a lot of damage. I'm impressed.
Rogue's critting. Who'd have thunk?
He lets this thing go, and it's a little stronger than he thought it would be, and he's actually caught off guard and stumbles a bit.
Oh, yeah.
There's
Alrighty.
a nice pink trail of energy behind it when he does it.
It's very anime. What else you got?
I mean, that's it. I can't move.
That's a good one. I mean,
That's
that's
my
a
turn.
lot of fucking damage for a level 3 character. Devin, you're up. What you got?
I was going to do Green Flame Blade, but that doesn't do anything extra damage to the one I'm looking at. So,
Not at this level.
fair. I guess I will just I just want it to keep its focus on me. So I'll just do pretty much the same thing. Bonus action on Tunnel Fighter, movement action to get real up close to it so that it can't possibly move out of my way.
I will say that you have like the movement to where you guys are arranged in like a very shallow C shape around this thing. You can actually flank it with DJ if you want.
Okay. So yeah, just kind of like sweeping low to the ground and just kind of spinning around and maneuvering myself to a better position. And while I'm doing that, my free hand is just kind of like pressed against the symbol of Rayshawn that I wear around my neck, and fill myself once again with false life.
Gotcha.
Because at-will invocations are pretty good when you've only got 2 spell slots. This time it is 6 temp HP.
Okay. After this is the Druid's turn. What does she want to do? Oh, that is a big miss. So then we will move right to Miriam's turn. That is also a big miss. And then we will move to Bernie's turn.
Sick. All right. You're never going to believe this.
Oh shit, what is he gonna do?
He better not Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch Itch.
You're going to believe this. I'm going to Eldritch Blast. Who the fuck
Oh
it?
my god, he did it.
It's crazy. It's absolutely fun. Actually, how's this thing looking?
Very displeased. Very nonplussed. It's not wobbly yet, but it's close to that.
Honestly, I think it might be time for another arm cannon.
Arm cannon kind of rock.
Arm cannon did kind of rock, so I think it's time we do another one, and I fixed the thing so it won't give us a syntax error anymore. Because as it turns out, I was dumb and had the damage type and damage number swapped. That's a 19 to hit,
19 does hit.
and that's 21 DiMaggio again, with a DC 13 check to be...
Jesus Lord Christ.
We don't
Y'all's
like these things,
DPR is
Tyler.
pretty good. As you hit, this thing is going to take its reaction to fling a hatchet at you.
Mm-hmm.
That is a critical strike.
That sucks.
Man, it would be a shame if that got silvery barbs since I haven't spent my reaction yet.
Oh, interesting. You're going to silvery barbs it.
I'm going to silvery barbs that.
Hey.
Good.
All right.
Fuck
That
that.
now becomes a 22 to hit.
Still hits, but still not a crit, so that's
I mean,
good.
it stopped a crit. I'm not mad about it.
I ain't either.
Also, could you imagine if it didn't hit? Crazy.
That is going to be 11 slashing damage. Please make a con saving throw.
Constitution. Ooh, I failed that. Ooh, that's a 7.
Your maximum HP is reduced by 11.
You do have a bonus to that from the silvery barbs.
Oh, okay. Well, what's the bonus?
You have advantage on the next attack roll, ability check, or saving throw made within the next minute.
Oh.
Well, then, 19. Thank you.
Hey.
Save. God damn it. I was finally going to get one of you. All right.
I am down to 7 HP.
All the
Ooh,
times I've hit you with these hatchets, nobody's ever lost total HP from it.
We don't want to.
But I want it to happen. But I'm playing this by the book here.
So I
stop
feel
getting
like
off the
what just happened,
stereotypes
so
that we
like
love you.
Bernie just like moves his arm into position, it turns it like into a freaking cannon, and he shoots this thing. As it's getting hit in the chest, it's throwing the axe back at him, and Kerian just like with the butt of his weapon like clips it as it's passing through his spaces and causes it to veer off just enough so that it still hits him but not in the head.
Oh yeah,
like
it
he was
hits him in the
about to do.
shoulder and not the head right now. But you've shot this attack at him. He wheels around, flings this hatchet in time to get blasted backwards because likewise this one does not make its strength save.
Hey.
As is pinned abruptly and unceremoniously against the wall and restrained until the start of its next turn. Jesus.
Yeah, get on the wall, punk.
Hands on the wall.
You let me use Steinhardt, so I'm using Steinhardt, baby.
Hey, we're moving over to the city turn. Ansur is finally over there, and he's going to make an attack against this thing.
While it's restrained, have advantage, my dude.
Oh, it does have advantage, thank God, because that was a 1. Hey, that hits. So he, slowly starts to move this sensor and then swings it wide overhead and clobbers this thing in the chest. Very good. It also bathes it in this, terrible acrid smoke and gives the thing disadvantage on its next attack.
Oh.
And then we are moving to Zibinel's turn.
I mean, it was so nice when I did it the first time. I'll just shoot him again.
Shoot him again.
With advantage.
With advantage. Use your
That's
advantage powers.
25 to hit.
25.
My goodness, we are
That
bullying.
meager number. Yeah, that hits.
It was one off from another crit.
We are bullying this man. Good.
That is 22 damage.
I need you to understand that we are the heroes.
We're the good guys.
We're the heroes.
Y'all are just but both y'all are just wielding Gatling guns, and I'm just sitting in front of it going, no, hit me, please, hit me.
Zibinel's like, if you get up and you hit me, I'm going to die. I don't want to do that.
This
Don't
thing
look
is
at my
looking
friends who are made of glass.
incredibly weak. Devin, what would you like to do on your turn?
Kill it.
Kill it.
Yeah, just take a couple steps towards it and just into the wall.
Attack with advantage.
All right.
If it's a crit, I'm going to lose my mind.
No, hits against restrained creatures don't count as crits.
Nope,
That's unconscious,
Just
I think.
advantage.
Just
It's a 24 to hit.
That advantage mattered. That was a 7 if it wasn't.
It hits. Hey, I get him for 7 points of damage.
7 points of damage.
You don't hit hard.
So
You don't hit
it's
hard on the
essentially a
ground,
death's door,
but-
but it hasn't really knocked yet. So you're close.
Since I have the Polearm Master, can use a bonus action to make a melee attack with the opposite end of the weapon.
Go for it.
Hell yeah.
The look of excitement on Tyler's face. At advantage, my guy.
It's the same attack modifier, but it's only a D4 instead of a D10.
Oh, I've
Okay.
used polearm before.
So it is a 20 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
I will just roll 1d4 plus 4. And it's 5 points of damage.
You needed 2.
Hey!
Hey.
So you absolutely just take a duke on this thing. It falls down dead and stinks. Everybody in the immediate vicinity, so all of you plus Miriam and Ansur, make a con saving throw for me.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Come on, man.
16.
24.
Why do I have a
Natural
plus 1?
crit.
You might still have my blessed one from before, but I didn't bless today. I didn't bless in this
Yeah,
fight.
it's saying bless.
12.
Okay.
Ugh.
12 is just enough.
Oh, boy. Woo.
Fuck all of y'all. Fail some constitution saves.
Never.
For fuck's sake. I want to get you guys. I really do. That's all right.
You put me to 1. And then
Don't be
5.
adversarial, Tyler.
And then
We love you.
5.
These two things started this fight by just beating the shit out of you. They really
Yeah, they
did.
did.
Oh my god. All right. That is happening. The town is concerned. People are managing this thing from becoming a panic. You see the mayor standing up saying that he's going to make sure that this is handled. Nobody worry about it. Everybody, let's just kind of get cleaned up from dinner. We're going to get this handled. An older guy comes over. He looks pretty dirty. He's been working today as well. He's coming over, speaking to Ansur very quickly, walks over to you guys. You guys seem to be pretty on the spot with handling this. Is this something you've dealt with before? What are we looking at?
Unfortunately.
Last time it
No,
was more of the shape of a scarecrow, but yes, these sort of headless undead are something we have very recent experience with.
Around here?
Yes,
Just
this
outside
morning.
the city walls.
He's going to look frustrated, and he'll beckon Ansur over. He'll speak with Miriam. It's like, so what is this? And about this time, the druid who had fallen will now step up and say, I think I can offer you some answers.
We can too.
Oh, there you go.
And I'm going to motion towards the senator.
There you go.
Answers.
Ha! But she'll say that the archdruid of our grove came into possession of like a wide variety of different literature, and among them was
a cursed
paper in particular that he always kept very close. He always kept it tucked against his chest or in a very close pouch on his person. I feel like that is to blame for things going downhill very, very quickly. And there was a morning just weeks ago where he went on this rampage, beheaded many of the druids of the order, and has been stalking the forest ever since. I had hidden away. I thought I was disguised well enough, but they eventually singled me out of some of the other creatures in the forest and chased me here. And I feel like this is going to be a continuing problem until he is dealt with. And she's just like shaking at recounting all of this, like she's looking at the ground. She's like very, very nervous on her face, but that's just like the immediate trauma of the past couple of weeks.
I'll walk up to her, I'll put my hand on her shoulder, and I'll say, then he will be dealt with.
I'll walk up to her and I'll offer a piece of candied coffee.
She'll look at it curiously and just kind of clutch it for now. Like, it's a situation of when your anxiety is so high, if you eat, you'll vomit. It's one of those situations for her.
Just when you feel better.
You'll see her just kind of like wrap that and save it, and she'll give you a nod, but she will assure you guys that this problem grows worse by the day, though if you can handle it as efficiently as you have this, she would be happy to guide you to the Druid Grove.
Are there more of the weird headless guys there?
There are many.
Okay. It's a problem that needs to be fixed, though.
Perhaps it's a problem that can wait until the morning, though. And he's gonna kind of like just putting a lot of his weight on his halberd.
We will rest and we will head out in the morning.
I think that would be best. Being in the forest at night is ill-advised, and Miriam's like, she's a smart girl.
Yes, we've heard that the forest is not kind to strangers at night. We arranged to stay with Miriam, yes?
You guys had arranged to stay with Miriam, yes.
Miriam, is there room for one more?
I don't see why not. If any of you will help me, I'm going to hack up a few leftovers just to make sure she gets something to eat.
I'll help.
But yeah, you'll go with Miriam and help to do that. The druid will stay with you two. The mayor and Ansur are going to walk off and kind of talk about, how can we better bolster the village against this particular undead. And I need Devin and Bernie to make me a perception with your sanity score, please.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I made a mistake.
My brain forgot how to do math. It's a 16.
16?
Yeah.
What'd you get, Devin?
I got a 4 on the die, plus my proficiency bonus of 2 means I got a 6.
Sweet.
I am not very perceptive at the moment.
You, in the moment, feel very lightheaded, very dizzy, extraordinarily paranoid. Bernie, you will notice at a minimum 5 additional birds hopping along the rooftops. They're not making any sort of aggressive action. It just seems like they're watching.
Do they have heads?
It does not seem like they do, no.
Kerian is probably going to kind of stand up and just remembering their fight with the scarecrow. He's going to walk over to the corpses and just kind of spin the mallet around, just stab it a couple times extra just to make sure.
Go ahead and roll me the damage from those attacks. You're smart. I like you.
Oh yeah, you're a smart cookie because I totally forgot that.
Well, I was thinking more of feeding into that paranoia, but I got a 14 and a 5.
A 14 and a 5 does seem to be enough to disanimate these things as they now fully just sink into this pile of corrupted ash as most of the sinew and everything else in them burns away.
I hate that. Hey, that's not great.
It does. It's a really wretched thing to look at with your eyes. But yeah, that is where I think we will call it for this session.